Chapter 1597. He disappeared. Why did Yi Chanfeng suddenly disappear from the 9th level? Seeing Yi Chanfeng mysteriously disappear, Lord Shueshujun and the others revealed expressions of deep shock. 8th High. Literature Net? X1, X8, X1, X9. Could it be that he has a spatial treasure or a spatial cave? Yes. If Yi Chanfeng is a descendant of a void god realm expert, it's not strange for him to have a spatial treasure. Let's wait in silence and see if he can pass Elder Qi's test in the remaining time. Yu Xian's eyes flickered as he spoke. Time flew by, and 3 years passed in a flash. In these 3 years, there were not many disciples left in the heavenly smelting pagoda. There were only a dozen people left. All of them had reached the 5th level and above. Their results were far better than 100 years ago. Among them, Yu Jianfeng, who was known as the #1 genius of the Misty Heaven sect, and Hua Shuang, who had the chance to step into the Daolord realm, entered the 7th level of the heavenly smelting pagoda and accepted the test of the Dao Intent Saint Crystal. As for Xia Wendi, he successfully stepped into the 6th level of the heavenly smelting pagoda and tried his best to kill king-level heavenly souls to increase his strength. At this time, Yi Chanfeng had been cultivating in the universe realm for more than 30 years. In these 30 years, Yi Chanfeng had refined a large amount of true spirit saint pills and cultivated to the limit of a 2-star Dao Emperor. He was only a step away from breaking through to the 3-star Dao Emperor realm. It's time to break through to the 3-star Dao Emperor realm. Feeling that his body was overflowing with golden Dao energy, Yi Chanfeng did not delay any longer. He consumed an extremely precious rank 3 true spirit saint pill and used the majestic medicinal power to break through to the 3-star Dao Emperor realm. After cultivating to the Dao Emperor realm, every breakthrough was very difficult. Fortunately, the God Fiend had left behind a large amount of treasures and true spirit saint pills in the 3rd level of the universe realm. In addition, Yi Chanfeng had sufficient time to cultivate. He spent close to 6 years and finally broke through the bottleneck to the 3-star Dao Emperor realm. After breaking through, Yi Chanfeng did not immediately come out of seclusion to challenge the artifact spirit. Instead, he went to the side of the 2 sacred wood-tempering trees and spat out the sacred fire. He melted the sacred wood branches bit by bit and absorbed them into his body to temper his body and break through to the arcane body perfection realm. The God Fiend's body was unparalleled, and what they loved the most were body-tempering sacred objects. The 2 body-tempering sacred wood that he had left behind in the universe realm were obtained by him after a narrow escape. He had never been willing to refine them, and now they were benefiting Yi Chanfeng. Soon, 5 years had passed in the outside world. Yi Chanfeng had been cultivating in the universe realm for a total of 50 years. In these 50 years, not only did he cultivate to the 3-star Dao Emperor realm, but he also cultivated his Xian body to the Great Circle realm. His physical body's strength was forcefully raised to 2 billion kilograms, surpassing an ordinary Xian-class holy beast. His physical body's toughness was also at the peak of the top-grade saint artifact. If he ignited his primordial bloodline to amplify his strength, he would be able to crush the strongest king-class sacred beasts and kill 4-star Dao Emperors with just his physical body. Phew! I wonder if I can defeat the artifact spirit of the Tower of Trials with my current strength. Yi Chanfeng calculated the time. There were still a few months before the Tower of Trials closed. He stopped cultivating, left the universe realm, and came to the Tower of Trials. Senior, I would like to challenge you. Yi Chanfeng stood at the highest level of the Tower of Trials with his hands behind his back and said loudly, 3-star Dao Emperor, Junior, you have surprised me again. The artifact spirit stared at Yi Chanfeng and could easily sense his strength. He shook his head and couldn't help but sigh. Come, let me see your strength. All right. Yi Chanfeng took a deep breath. His primordial bloodline, 3 sacred flames burned, and the sacred blood bead fused. He instantly reached the peak of the 4-star Dao Emperor realm, and his physical body's strength rose to 6 billion kilograms. The terrifying energy fluctuations caused the space around him to tremble violently. The moment Yi Chunfeng took a step forward, a thunderous sound came from beneath his feet. He was like a wild, ancient beast, exploding with heaven-shaking strength as he attacked the artifact's spirit. What a powerful strength! Feeling Yi Chunfeng's explosive strength, the artifact's spirit raised his brows and revealed a trace of surprise. He stretched out his aged right hand to meet the attack. Boom! Yi Chunfeng's fist landed on the artifact's spirit's right palm. The terrifying strength shook the entire space. In the next moment, an unimaginable strength gushed out from the artifact's spirit's right palm. It was so strong that it instantly destroyed the strength of Yi Chunfeng's fist. It caused his arm to tremble, and he lost control of his body. After forcing Yi Chunfeng back with a palm, the artifact's spirit immediately waved his arm. A terrifying strength swept through the entire space, and the power of the Grand Tao slammed towards Yi Chunfeng. Misty Sword Codex, Misty, Ancient Extreme Sword. Facing the power of the Grand Tao, Yi Chunfeng couldn't avoid it. He immediately deduced the Tao intent that he cultivated to the extreme. 4 Tao diagrams floated above his head, and he executed the second move of the Misty Sword Codex that he had just mastered. The sword contained boundless Tao intent. The sword could shatter the sun, moon, and stars. The sword slashed down, destroying everything. It forcefully slashed apart the artifact spirit's attack. 9 Dragon Jade Annulus suppressed the space. The moment Yi Chunfeng broke the artifact spirit's attack, the 9 Dragon Jade Annulus flew out from his body. 9 giant dragons appeared, suppressing the space, and bombarded the artifact spirit's attack. When the artifact spirit stretched out his hand and sent the 9 Dragon Jade Annulus flying, Yi Chunfeng suddenly sped up the flow of time by 4 times. He suddenly appeared in front of the artifact spirit and raised his attack speed to the limit. He instantly launched 3 consecutive attacks towards the artifact spirit's body. Although he had successfully struck the artifact spirit's body, Yi Chunfeng felt as if he had struck black iron. Not only was he unable to injure the artifact spirit's body, he couldn't even push him back a single step. Not bad, not bad. Compared to 5 years ago, your attack power has increased by dozens of times. Even if you can't defeat me, this harvest is enough to make others jealous. A terrifying power suddenly erupted from the old artifact spirit's body. Like a stormy sea, it bombarded Yi Chunfeng, shattering his body's defenses and sending him flying. He landed heavily on the ground several thousand meters away, almost losing his ability to fight. Although he was heavily injured, Yi Chunfeng's face revealed a trace of joy. During the close combat, the God-Eater brain had captured the source of the artifact spirit's power. If it hit the source of the artifact spirit's power, it might cause the artifact spirit's body to pause and weaken his combat power. Then he would have a chance. Thinking of this, Yi Chunfeng struggled to get up. He quickly healed his injuries and prepared for the next challenge. 3 days later, Yi Chunfeng had basically recovered from his injuries and challenged the artifact spirit again. This time, Yi Chunfeng intended to confirm his guess. He didn't attack blindly, but kept circling around and stalling for time so that the God-Eater brain could sense the artifact spirit's power source on a deeper level. After the God-Eater brain's repeated deductions, it completely confirmed Yi Chunfeng's earlier perception. At that moment, the weapon spirit once again unleashed an earth-shattering power. Like a stormy sea, it swept towards Yi Chunfeng. The terrifying power directly destroyed his attack and sent him flying hundreds of meters away. He had almost lost all of his ability to fight. I think I should be able to defeat him without using the life spirit technique. Yi Chunfeng quickly took a healing pill and struggled to get up from the ground. As he healed, he thought of a plan to defeat the artifact spirit. Chapter 1598. As the day of the Heavenly Pagoda trial drew closer and closer, the geniuses of the Misty Heaven sect began to leave. 8th High. 1. X8. 1. After nearly 10 years of cultivation, everyone's strength had clearly increased. Among them, The peerless genius of the Misty Heaven sect, Huaxi, had broken through to the 4-star Dao Emperor realm. As for Yu Jianfeng, he was only a step away from breaking through to the 5-star Dao Emperor realm. Master, where is Yi Qinfeng? What level did he reach? After successfully breaking through to the 2-star Dao Emperor realm, Yulanxin left the Heavenly Trial Pagoda and saw Shui Piaomiao on the 1st level. She immediately walked over and asked about Yi Qinfeng's results. Yi Qinfeng is challenging Old Weapon on the 9th level. Even now, Shui Piaomiao still felt as if this was unreal. The 9th level of the Heavenly Trial Pagoda, this was undoubtedly a miracle. The 9th level. Yulanxin sucked in a breath of cold air, her cold face revealing an expression of disbelief. She was well aware of the difficulty of the Heavenly Trial Pagoda trial. She had spent 10 years to reach the 5th level of the Heavenly Trial Pagoda, and she was already very satisfied with this result. Yi Qinfeng reached the 9th level of the Heavenly Trial Pagoda. A cold voice sounded. As Shui Yishuan heard Shui Piaomiao's words, she slowly walked over. She wore a dark green dress and was even colder than Yulanxin. Yes, Yi Qinfeng ascended to the 9th level of the Pagoda of Trials 5 years ago, and he's challenging Elder Qi now. The Shui clan's patriarch, Shui Shujun, nodded. This Yi Qinfeng's talent is so amazing. Shui Yishuan's expression changed. Although she knew Yi Qinfeng wasn't simple, she didn't expect Yi Qinfeng to be so amazing. A sense of defeat appeared in her heart. Everyone come and watch. This Yi Qinfeng is going to challenge Old Weapon again. I wonder if he can defeat Old Weapon and pass the Heavenly Trial Pagoda. As the geniuses of the Misty Heaven sect were feeling disappointed by Yi Qinfeng's results, Yu Xian's voice sounded out, calling everyone to the trial mirror. They wanted to watch Yi Qinfeng challenge the Old Weapon spirit. Senior, I will continue. Yi Qinfeng slowly walked to the center of the 9 Heavenly Trial Pagoda, speaking neither arrogantly nor humbly. Good, make your move. The Old Weapon spirit walked out. The Weapon Pagoda appeared in front of Yi Qinfeng without a trace of emotion. 9 Dragon Jade Wall, suppress. Yi Qinfeng used his 3 trump cards and instantly raised his strength to the peak. Then, he summoned the 9 Dragon Jade Annulus. He controlled the 9 Dragon Jade Annulus to continuously expand and suppress the old artifact spirit. The Heavenly Trial Pagoda, the old artifact spirit, did not move, allowing it to transform into a heavenly wall. The Jade Spirits, the wall Jade Wall, Yin Yin Yin. The moment the Jade Wall fell, 9 deadly dragons flew out of the Jade Wall and danced in front of the Old Weapon spirit's eyes, distracting him. When the artifact spirit took a step forward and exploded with a shocking power, shattering the 9 deadly dragons, Yi Qinfeng suddenly appeared in front of him with sword steps. His incomparably sharp sword wings danced quickly, attacking the artifact spirit's arms. I said, the Heavenly Trial Pagoda is useless against me. The Old Weapon spirit allowed the sword wings to slash at his arms. Golden Sword Spirit, attack. Just when the Old Weapon spirit was careless, the Golden Sword Spirit flew out of Yi Qinfeng's Sea of Soul and attacked the Old Weapon spirit's lower abdomen. That was the source of his strength. Sensing the Golden Sword Spirit's attack, the Old Weapon spirit's expression changed slightly, and he instinctively wanted to dodge. However, Yi Qinfeng's attack speed was even faster. He instantly transformed into his true spirit form and continuously unleashed the true spirit fighting dragon fist, bombarding the old man. While the old man's body was shaking, it also took away his energy. The Golden Sword Spirit stabbed into the Old Weapon spirit's abdomen. The Golden Sword Spirit's astonishing strength instantly pierced through the Old Weapon spirit's body and attacked the source of his strength. With the source of his strength attacked, the Old Weapon spirit's attack was immediately affected, and the strength in his body was thrown into chaos. 4 great Dao diagrams fuse. The Golden Sword Spirit's attack was effective. Yi Qinfeng immediately controlled the 4 profound Dao diagrams to transform into a sea of Dao intent and crazily fused with the golden sword spirit, increasing its attack power. Disregarding his own safety, he circled behind the old weapon spirit and stretched out his arms to wrap around the old weapon spirit's body. His bold action stunned Yu Xian, Shui Piao, and the others who were watching through the trial mirror. Has Yi Qinfeng gone mad? He's actually using his body to lock weapon spirit. Isn't he afraid that weapon spirit's strength will shatter his body and destroy it? Yes, although his talent is extraordinary, weapon spirit won't be merciful just because of his talent. Pavilion Master, do you think Qinfeng will be fine? The pale Xia Wendy cast her gaze toward Shui Piao and asked nervously. I don't know either. Shui Piao shook her head and said, but Qinfeng isn't a reckless person. He won't joke around with his life. He should have some confidence in doing this. As she spoke, a heaven-shaking strength erupted from weapon spirit's body. Like an erupting volcano, it bombarded Yi Qinfeng's body and blocked the golden sword spirit's attack. After cultivating his profound body to the Great Circle realm, Yi Qinfeng's body was comparable to a top-grade saint artifact. In addition to his Grand Mist bloodline's amplification, his physical body had nearly reached the level of a low-grade true spirit saint artifact. The weapon spirit's explosive strength had only cracked his body, but it hadn't been able to destroy his physical body. And under the golden sword spirit's attack, the weapon spirit's abdomen was constantly injured. The golden sword spirit's attack had pierced through his source of strength bit by bit. Heaven's weapon spirit's explosive strength actually didn't shatter his body. Could this brat's physical body surpass a top-grade saint artifact? This Yi Qinfeng is too frightening. Perhaps he really is related to the dragon race. Thinking that a human's physical body wouldn't be as frightening as Yi Qinfeng's, Yu Xian also felt that Yi Qinfeng was related to the dragon race. It was extremely likely that he was a descendant of a dragon race supreme elder. Brat, are you not afraid of death? If you continue to lock me up like this, don't blame me for shattering your body. As Yi Qinfeng firmly locked down his body, the weapon spirit's source of strength was continuously being attacked, and he angrily warned Lin Ming. Senior is strong, but when your source of strength is being attacked, I'm afraid you won't be able to use your full strength. If you want to shatter my body, I'm afraid it won't be that easy. Yi Qinfeng stubbornly said. He continued to explode with over 6 billion genes of strength, firmly locking down the weapon spirit's body and creating opportunities for the golden sword spirit to attack. Good, then I want to see just how long you can last. As the weapon spirit spoke, he continued to explode with heaven-shaking strength, attacking Yi Qinfeng. He wanted to shatter Yi Qinfeng's body, but Yi Qinfeng's physical body was too strong. The weapon spirit's continuous attacks were simply unable to shatter his body, and the weapon spirit's abdomen was continuously attacked by the golden sword spirit, causing cracks to appear all over his body. This directly damaged his source of strength, causing him to be increasingly alarmed. Seeing his source of strength being pierced by the golden sword spirit, the weapon spirit was still unable to shatter Yi Qinfeng's body. The weapon spirit sighed inwardly and said, Junior, stop attacking. You've won this match. Thank you, Senior. Yi Qinfeng, who was covered in blood, revealed a faint smile. He withdrew the golden sword spirit and sat down on the ground, gasping for breath. Chapter 1599. He won. Yi Qinfeng really defeated Elder Qi and passed the trial. Heavens, I didn't expect him to really make history and learn the ultimate reward of the Heavenly Pagoda trial. With his physical strength, he will probably last longer than the primogenitor. 8th lunar month Z. Yu Xian and the others were shocked when they saw Yi Qinfeng defeat the old artifact spirit and pass the trial. They were shocked by Yi Qinfeng's strength. Even Yu Xian wasn't confident in winning against the artifact spirit. Junior, get ready. Let me know when you're ready. I will give you the ultimate reward. Accept the infusion of heavenly soul energy. However, how much heavenly soul energy your body can withstand will depend on the strength of your physical body and willpower. The old artifact spirit said slowly as he looked at Yi Qinfeng, who was covered in bloody scars and severely injured. "Thank you, Senior." Yi Chen-feng took a deep breath and sat cross-legged on the ground. He swallowed a saint pill and quickly adjusted his breathing to recover from his injuries. "Secmaster, this Yi Chen-feng's talent is too amazing. I think his strength will increase further after the infusion of heavenly soul force. How are you going to treat him?" Shui Shujun stared at Yi Chen-feng, who was sitting cross-legged and healing himself. He completely believed that as long as there were no accidents, he would definitely amaze everyone. Yu Xian looked at Shui Piaomiao and slowly said, "No matter how much his strength increases, he is still a disciple of the Bishue Celestial Pavilion. I think Piaomiao will help him settle down." Shui Piaomiao cupped her fists and promised softly, "Rest assured, Secmaster, Piaomiao will definitely help Yi Chen-feng settle down." Everyone wanted to know how long Yi Chen-feng could withstand the infusion of heavenly soul force and how much his strength would increase. No one left the heavenly pagoda and waited patiently. After about 2 days, Yi Chen-feng had completely recovered from his injuries. He woke up from his recuperation and found the artifact spirit elder. He said, "Senior, I am ready. I can accept the heavenly soul energy infusion. All right, come with me." With that, the artifact spirit took a step forward and tore through space. He brought Yi Chen-feng through a space gate and arrived at the highest point of the heavenly smelting tower. There he saw an energy ball that flashed with lightning. "Junior, in the history of the Misty Heaven sect, only 2 people have completed the ultimate challenge, and one of them is you. However, I have high hopes for you. I believe that you can hold on for more than 3 days and break the ultimate record." Thinking of Yi Chen-feng's mortal body that was comparable to a low-grade, true spirit saint artifact, the old artifact spirit felt that he could last for at least 5 days and obtain endless benefits. Junior will do his best to persevere. Yi Chen-feng was also aware of the benefits of having the heavenly soul power flowing through his body. Thus, he spoke resolutely. "All right, go in. How long you can last will depend on your willpower." The old artifact spirit nodded and opened the restriction, allowing Yi Chen-feng to walk into the shining energy ball. Crackle, crackle. In the next moment, Yi Chen-feng felt the entire energy ball explode with terrifying energy lightning. A loud roar reverberated in his ears. Boundless energy lightning brought with it a violent force that flowed through Yi Chen-feng's pores and rushed into his body. Although the process was extremely painful, Yi Chen-feng's physical body was too strong. In addition, he had an unyielding heart. Thus, he completely endured the pain. He quickly circulated the soul-devouring art and refined the heavenly soul power that flowed into his body, increasing his strength quickly. Yes, the Chaos Divine Wood. The Chaos Divine Wood is also absorbing the heavenly soul power. As Yi Chen-feng was refining the heavenly soul power that flowed into his body, he realized that the Chaos Divine Wood was also rapidly absorbing the heavenly soul power and transforming bit by bit. If the Chaos Divine Wood and I devour, I wonder if the heavenly soul power that the heavenly smelting tower has accumulated for countless years will be sucked dry. Yi Chen-feng knew how powerful the Chaos Divine Wood was. If the Chaos Divine Wood was allowed to devour freely, it would definitely suck the heavenly smelting tower dry. Days passed by. Yi Chen-feng was like a bottomless pit as he continued to refine the heavenly soul power that flowed into his body. On the 3rd day, the golden Tao power in his body was overflowing. The bottleneck of his cultivation level also started to loosen. After 3 days of devouring, the Chaos Divine Wood grew a little thicker. Large amounts of 5-colored divine leaves grew, and its strength increased exponentially. It has been 3 days. This Yi Chen-feng has indeed surpassed the ancestors. Yes, this Yi Chen-feng is too heaven-defying. I really don't know where his limits are. Yu Xian and the others waited for 3 days. When they realized that Yi Chen-feng was completely immersed in the devouring process and didn't show any signs of stopping, they couldn't help but sigh. Suddenly, they realized that Yi Chen-feng's body was emitting rays of golden light. They guessed that Yi Chuanfeng should have broken through his cultivation level. A 4-star Tao Emperor. He broke through again so quickly. Sensing that his strength had increased, Yi Chuanfeng revealed a faint smile. Relying on his powerful physical body, he continued to endure the heavenly soul power flowing into his body. Soon, another 5 days passed. It has been 8 days. Why doesn't Yi Chuanfeng have any limits? Is his body a bottomless pit? Although Yi Chuanfeng's physical body was powerful, the heavenly soul power flowing into his body was extremely terrifying. Even a 6-star Tao Emperor wouldn't be able to endure it. However, Yi Chuanfeng endured it for 8 days and was still immersed in it. Not only did he not show any signs of pain, but he even looked relaxed. However, they didn't know that Yi Chuanfeng could endure it for so long because most of the heavenly soul power that flowed into his body had been devoured by the chaos divine wood. He only absorbed 1/3 of it. 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, 25 days, as everyone waited numbly, Yi Chuanfeng allowed the heavenly soul power to flow into his body for close to a month. Although he was afraid that continuous breakthroughs would cause his cultivation foundation to be unstable, he had been bitterly suppressing his cultivation base. However, the heavenly soul power flowing into his body was too terrifying. After a month of refining and absorbing, the golden Tao power in his body was overflowing. His foundation was also very solid. Feeling that he was unable to suppress his cultivation base, Yi Chuanfeng took a deep breath. He controlled the golden soul power to break through the bottleneck that was full of cracks and broke through to the 5-star Tao Emperor realm. Yi Chuanfeng didn't expect to break through to the 5-star Tao Emperor realm so soon after ascending to the heaven region. Even if he didn't manage to obtain the ancient secret from the Misty Heaven sect, his harvest in the heavenly smelting pagoda was enough. Not long after Yi Chuanfeng broke through, the chaos divine would suddenly shot out a 5-color divine light. It passed through Yi Chuanfeng's body and permeated the energy ball. 5-color divine light. What kind of saint art is Yi Chuanfeng cultivating? Why is his body shooting out 5-color divine light? How many secrets are hidden in his body? Seeing Yi Chuanfeng's 5-color divine light becoming more and more intense, Yu Xian and the others were once again shocked. Even the arrogant Yu Jianfeng, Hua Shi, and the others were subdued by his heaven-defying talent. The chaos divine wood is finally transformed again. After sensing the chaos divine wood's transformation, it grew a little taller. The lush treetop was covered with 5-color divine leaves. The chaos power in the tree was even stronger, and its power was far beyond the green lawn sacred bough. It had reached a level that Yi Chuanfeng couldn't reach. Junior, enough is enough. If you continue to cultivate, the heavenly soul power in the heavenly smelting pagoda will be sucked dry by you. Just as Yi Chuanfeng was refining the heavenly soul power and sensing the changes in the chaos divine wood, the old artifact spirit's voice entered his ears. I'm sorry, Senior. Junior was a little greedy. I'll come out now. Although Yi Chuanfeng still wanted to continue cultivating, the old artifact spirit had spoken. He could only give up and stop devouring. With a move, he left the energy ball that was much dimmer than before. Chapter 1600. Junior, just how many secrets are you hiding? The old artifact spirit looked at Yi Chuanfeng, who had broken through 2 realms, as if he wanted to see through him. 8th grade high. Literature net equals less than or equal to is almost equal to. If a normal person absorbed heavenly soul force for more than a month, their strength would have reached the peak of a 6-star Tao Emperor or stepped into the Tao Lord realm. However, Yi Chuanfeng had only risen from a 3-star Tao Emperor to a 5-star Tao Emperor. This made the old artifact spirit guess that Yi Chuanfeng was hiding a huge secret. However, with such a foundation, it would be easy for him to kill enemies above his level. This junior is indeed hiding some secrets. However, Senior can rest assured that this junior has no ulterior motives towards the ethereal heaven sect. If there's a chance in the future, this junior will repay this favor. Yi Chuanfeng said vaguely. Good, these words are enough. The old artifact spirit said, "Let's go. I will send you out of here." As he spoke, the old artifact spirit gently waved his arm and opened a portal, sending Yi Chunfeng out of the heavenly trial tower's 9th floor. "Chunfeng, you are out." Shui Piaomiao saw Yi Chunfeng, who was wearing a white robe, walking out of the spatial domain gate in high spirits. She immediately walked up to him and said, "Sect Master wants to see you. Come with me to greet him." "Okay." Yi Chunfeng nodded and followed Shui Piaomiao to Yuxian. Yuxian looked at the outstanding Yi Chunfeng and praised, "Yi Chunfeng, you have given us a huge surprise. The rise of the ethereal heaven sect depends on you. Chunfeng will remember the kindness of the ethereal heaven sect. In the future, I will bring glory to the ethereal heaven sect." Yi Chunfeng promised softly. Good, good. Although Yi Chunfeng was not a top expert in the heaven realm, Yu Xian and the others saw a bright future in him. Yu Xian and the others were gratified and happy to receive his promise. "Chunfeng, this token is for you. With this token, you can come and go anywhere in the ethereal heaven sect." Yu Xian took out a guest elder token and handed it to Yi Chunfeng. "Thank you, Sect Master." Yi Chunfeng was overjoyed with this token. With this token, he could slowly search for the secret realm hidden in the ethereal heaven sect. All right, the 10-year trial of the heavenly pagoda is over. Everyone, return to your respective palaces and continue cultivating. The future of the misty heaven sect depends on you all. Yu Xian did not expose Yi Chunfeng's identity, nor did he give him too many rewards. "Let's go, Chunfeng. When we return to the Blue Snow Immortal Pavilion, I have something to say to you." Shui Piaomiao led Yi Chunfeng, Xia Wendy, Yulan Xin, and the others back to the Blue Snow Immortal Pavilion after bidding farewell to Yu Xian and the others. "Chunfeng, thank you. I really didn't think that your arrival would solve my greatest crisis and allow me to sit in the position of Snow Palace Master." Shui Piaomiao stared at Yi Chunfeng. Thinking of his age, Shui Piaomiao felt as if she were in a dream. "Pavilion Master is too polite. You and I both come from the Soul Battle Continent, and you have taken care of me. I should repay you." Yi Chunfeng faintly smiled and said in a neither arrogant nor humble manner, "Chunfeng, are you really from the Soul Battle Continent?" Shui Piaomiao suddenly asked as she thought of Yu Xian's guess about Yi Chunfeng's identity. "Pavilion Master, what do you mean by that?" Yi Chunfeng's heart stirred as he vaguely grasped some information. "Nothing. I'm just curious about your identity." Shui Piaomiao shook her head and didn't think too deeply about it. "Chunfeng, your strength has already surpassed mine. From now on, I won't restrict you. But if there comes a day when my Misty Heaven sect is in trouble, I ask that you help us. Don't worry, Pavilion Master. Although I haven't been in the Misty Heaven sect for long, this is still my first home in the Heaven Realm. I naturally won't let anything happen here." Yi Chunfeng nodded and promised. "All right, go back and rest. If you have any needs, just tell me. If I can't satisfy them, I will ask Patriarch Shui and the Sect Master to help you." Shui Piaomiao said. "All right." Yi Chunfeng nodded and left the Azure Snow Pavilion. He met up with Xia Wendy, who was waiting outside the pavilion, and returned to the White Cliff courtyard. "Little mosquito, there's something wrong with your eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? Don't tell me you've been completely mesmerized by me and want to seduce me again?" After returning to the White Cliff courtyard, Yi Chunfeng noticed that there was something wrong with Xia Wendy's eyes and joked. "Yi Chunfeng, don't tell me you're a monster in disguise." Xia Wendy did not get angry. Instead, she circled Yi Chunfeng 3 times. "Have you ever seen such a handsome monster?" Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. "Bah, only you can be handsome. I think that toad is not bad." Xia Wendy rolled her eyes at Yi Chunfeng. After saying that, she chuckled. Clearly, she was in a good mood after touching the realm of a 2-star Tao Emperor. As the night grew deeper, the Misty Heaven sect gradually regained its peace. After stabilizing his cultivation, Yi Chunfeng returned to the universe realm with a thought. Then, he summoned Demon Ba out of the ancient bronze coffin. Seals open. After breaking through to the realm of the 5-star Tao Emperor, Yi Chunfeng had the strength to break the seals on Demon Ba's body. He forcefully undid the two seals on his body. In the next moment, endless devil chi burst out from Embark's body. This devil chi directly dyed the universe realm space within several miles black, disturbing the Black Rock Emperor, who was refining the life-severing ancestral root with all his strength and breaking through to the one-star demon master realm. A one-star demon lord. Young Master Yi, this demon ba that you subdued has actually reached the one-star demon lord realm. Sensing the terrifying demonic aura from demon ba's body, the Black Rock Emperor revealed a shocked expression. Not only was the Black Rock Emperor shocked, even Yi Chunfeng revealed a shocked expression. Because according to Yi Wuji, Demon Ba's strongest strength should be at the peak of a 6-star Dao Emperor. However, he didn't expect that after breaking the 3 seals on Demon Ba's body, he would reach the 1-star Dao Lord realm. However, with Demon Ba's existence, there weren't many people in the entire heaven region who could injure him. All right, Demon Ba, continue sleeping. If I need you, I'll call for you. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng sealed Demon Ba back into the ancient bronze coffin. Blackrock, how much longer do you need to break through to the 1-star Demon Lord realm? Yi Chunfeng asked. The Black Rock Emperor pondered for a moment and said, in this space where the time flow is 10 times faster, about a year. Sigh, Blackrock, your cultivation speed is really slow. I'm almost catching up to you. Yi Chunfeng sighed lightly and revealed his true strength before the Black Rock Emperor. 5-star Dao Emperor. Young Master Yi, you've broken through to the 5-star Dao Emperor realm? Sensing Yi Chunfeng's strength, the Black Rock Emperor sucked in a breath of cold air. He was disappointed by Yi Chunfeng's heaven-defying cultivation speed. Yi Chunfeng said, Black Rock, spar with me for a while. I've broken through too quickly and still need to temper myself. All right. The Black Rock Emperor nodded and started to spar with Yi Chunfeng in the universe realm. Although the Black Rock Emperor's cultivation realm is higher than Yi Chunfeng's, Yi Chunfeng has cultivated the arcane body realm to the Great Circle. His physical body is comparable to a top-grade Saint artifact. In addition, he has broken through to the 5-star Dao Emperor realm. His physical body's strength has reached an astonishing 2.5 billion gene. With the amplification of the 5 elements heavenly Dao diagram, Yi Chunfeng burned his primordial blood to fight with the Black Rock Emperor and did not fall into a disadvantage. The two of them fought more and more fiercely. They used all their skills and attack for about 5 days. Neither of them could do anything to the other. In the end, both of them were exhausted and fell to the ground. Although Yi Chunfeng did not defeat the Black Rock Emperor, his astonishing battle strength and endurance convinced the Black Rock Emperor. After resting for a while, the Black Rock Emperor, who was deeply affected, once again immersed himself in cultivation. This time, he vowed to break through to the 1-star Demon Lord realm as soon as possible. P.S. Sorry for the long wait, everyone. Also, Yi Chunfeng's picture on Sunday. Don't miss it. If you want to see it, please add me on WeChat, Y1TY83. Chapter 1601. Time passed day by day. English, Web, Z. A year had passed since the Sky Pagoda trial. Yi Chunfeng had been traveling around the Misty Mountain with a guest elder token, using the God-Eater brain to deduce the location of the mystic realm. However, the Misty Mountain was too big, and there were many restrictions in the mountain. Yi Chunfeng was afraid of exposing his secret, so he did not dare to search a large area. He could only search slowly. Finally, his efforts paid off. After searching for more than a year, he found something strange in the valley at the bottom of the Preaching Cliff. The space here is a little unstable. After the God-Eater brain's deduction, Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. He looked at the dark valley in the distance that was covered by restrictions and decided to sneak in to take a look. Yi Chunfeng, why are you here? When Yi Chunfeng approached the dark valley, the restrictions around the dark valley fluctuated, and a tall woman, wearing a black martial arts suit with a graceful figure, walked out of the restrictions. When she saw Yi Chunfeng, she was obviously stunned. What a coincidence, Senior Sister Shui. I didn't expect to see you here. Yi Chunfeng was startled. He didn't think that he would run into the frosty, yet beautiful Shui Yixian here. In order to catch up with you, I have been cultivating in the black hole of death for more than a year. Recently, I have comprehended something, so I want to go back and cultivate for a while to try to break through to the 5-star Tao Emperor realm. Shui Yishuan said softly, with a hint of warmth in her voice. Black hole of death. Yi Qinfeng's heart skipped a beat, and he said, Senior Sister Shui, can I enter the black hole of death to train for a few days? If others have to pay a large amount of contribution points, but you have the guest elder token given by the sect leader, so you should be able to enter directly. Shui Yishuan said, Let's go. I will take you to meet the true elder. When the time comes, you only need to show the true elder the token, and you can enter the black hole of death to cultivate. After saying that, Shui Yishuan made several complicated hand seals, opened the restrictions, and led Yi Qinfeng inside. Senior Sister, what is in this black hole of death? How did it form? Yi Qinfeng asked. I don't know how the black hole of death is formed, but the black hole of death is filled with a large number of dead spirits. When you cultivate inside, not only do you have to resist the corrosion of the death chi, you also have to kill the dead spirits. The death chi will force out your potential bit by bit. This is the benefit of cultivating inside the black hole of death, Shui Yixian said without hiding anything. Then Senior Sister Shui, have you ever reached the end of the black hole of death? Yi Qinfeng continued to ask. This time, I reached the end of the black hole of death, but I was forced back by several extremely powerful restrictive sword shadows, Shui Yixian continued. Forbidden sword shadow. Shui Yishuan's words further confirmed Yi Qinfeng's guess that the ancient mystery of the Misty Heaven sect was most likely hidden at the end of the black hole of death. While talking, Shui Yixian led Yi Qinfeng to the black hole of death, which was sealed with several layers of restrictive spells. They saw an old man who had been guarding the black hole of death for countless years. His hair was white, his face was full of wrinkles, and there was not a trace of Tao energy fluctuation on his body. True Elder, Junior Brother, Yi wants to enter the black hole of death to cultivate. Shui Xin bowed deeply to the old man in a very respectful manner. Junior Brother Yi Qinfeng? The old man in gray clothes looked at Yi Qinfeng with his cloudy eyes. That's me. Yi Qinfeng cupped his fists and said, I heard that you are the #1 genius of the Misty Heaven sect. I wonder if you dare to take a palm strike from me? If you can take a palm strike from me, I will allow you to enter the black hole of death to cultivate as you wish. The true elder said, Senior, if you wish, I will do my best to accompany you. Yi Qinfeng said with neither arrogance nor humility. Good. You be careful. The true elder revealed a rare smile. A powerful Tao energy gushed out from his body and directly tore open the clothes on his body. In the next moment, the true elder, who was sitting cross-legged, quickly made several complicated hand seals. They condensed into a powerful giant hand seal that shook the space and shattered the layers of air as it bombarded Yi Qinfeng. Misty, ancient extreme sword. Feeling that the true elder's giant hand seal was filled with a terrifying and suffocating power, for offensive Tao diagrams appeared on Yi Qinfeng's body. He instantly deduced the 4 Tao diagrams to the extreme and slashed out a sword that seemed to have come from ancient times. It was enough to destroy the heavens and earth. It was so close to the true elder's giant hand seal. Boom! The sword and the palm collided, and 2 terrifying Tao energy instantly exploded in the void. 3 breaths later, the misty, ancient extreme sword that Yi Qinfeng had used could not withstand the destructive power of the giant hand seal and began to shatter inch by inch. After shattering Yi Qinfeng's misty, ancient extreme sword, the fragmented giant hand seal viciously slammed into Yi Qinfeng's body, forcefully pushing him back 3 steps. Impressive. I never thought that you would be able to cultivate the second move of the Misty Sword Codex at your age. Compared to you, I really am old. Although Yi Qinfeng had been pushed back, the true elder was not stingy with his praise. This was because he felt that Yi Qinfeng had not used his full strength in that attack, and the toughness of his physical body had exceeded his expectations. Yi Qianfeng took a deep breath and suppressed the roiling blood in his body as he asked softly, "True Elder, may I enter now?" "Yes, you can come whenever you want in the future. I allow you to enter unconditionally to cultivate." The true elder nodded and said, "Thank you, Senior." Yi Qianfeng said gratefully, "Senior sister, I will go in to cultivate. Do you want me to accompany you in to cultivate?" Shui Xuan, who was as cold as ice, suddenly revealed a charming expression like a little girl and asked softly, "No need, I want to cultivate by myself." Although Shui Xuan was very beautiful, enough to make many men willingly kneel before her, the ancient secret was more attractive to Yi Qianfeng. He shook his head and tactfully refused. "Forget it. I won't force you if you don't want to. However, if I want to spar with you in the future, you can't refuse." Shui Xuan was not angry and said softly, "No problem. Senior sister can come and spar with me at any time in the future." Yi Qianfeng nodded and promised. After saying that, Yi Qianfeng walked into the restriction opened by the true elder and into the black hole of death. Whoosh! After entering the black hole of death, Yi Qianfeng immediately increased his speed to the limit. He ignored the surging death force and the ferocious-looking dead spirits' attacks and rushed towards the end of the black hole of death at an extremely fast speed. As he went deeper, the death force in the black hole of death became stronger and stronger, constantly eroding Yi Qianfeng's body. However, Yi Qianfeng had refined a dead spirit pearl in his body. With the help of the dead spirit pearl, Yi Qianfeng easily dispelled the death force in his body. As for the undead spirits that tried to stop him, they were directly crushed by the power of over 2 billion kilograms exploding from his body. After about half a day, Yi Qianfeng, who was moving in extremely fast speed, appeared at the end of the black hole of death and found the heavy restriction that Shui Xuan had mentioned. When he reached out and touched the restriction that sealed the end of the black hole of death, the restriction trembled violently and turned into several extremely powerful restriction sword slashes, slashing towards Yi Qianfeng at an extremely fast speed. However, Yi Qianfeng was no longer the same as before. These extremely powerful restriction sword slashes posed no threat to him. Yi Qianfeng summoned the golden sword spirit and surrounded his body, shattering the restriction sword slashes. God-Eater Brain, break the restriction. When the golden sword spirit broke the restriction, Yi Qianfeng controlled the God-Eater Brain to deduce and decipher the various restrictions at the end of the black hole of death. After about a day of hard work, the God-Eater Brain finally deduced the truth of the various restrictions. Yi Qianfeng held the mid-grade, true, Saint Artifact Heavenly Fault Sacred Sword and fused with the Golden Sword Spirit. With a fierce thrust, he pierced through several restrictions and arrived at the end of the black hole of death. Chapter 16:02. What kind of space is this? After reaching the end of the black hole of death, Yi Qianfeng suddenly found himself in a pitch-black space. He hurriedly controlled the God-Eater Brain to deduce and sense the reality of this pitch-black space. 8.1. Chinese network equals is not equal to is almost equal to. Is almost equal to 8 is equal to 1 is not equal to z equals greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to calm. What a mysterious space. It actually suppressed the God-Eater Brain's deduction. When Yi Qianfeng controlled the God-Eater Brain to deduce, he found that the God-Eater Brain's deduction ability was suppressed by a mysterious force in this pitch-black space. It couldn't deduce the reality of this space for a moment. However, Yi Qianfeng wasn't in a hurry. He sat cross-legged in the pitch-black space and controlled the God-Eater Brain to deduce again and again. 2 days quickly passed. Under Yi Qianfeng's persistent deduction, the God-Eater Brain captured an extremely weak energy fluctuation in the pitch-black space. It was very difficult to detect it. In the next moment, the Golden Sword Soul flew out of Yi Qianfeng's sea of soul and attacked this energy fluctuation at an extremely fast speed. After being attacked by the Golden Sword Soul, this energy fluctuation trembled for a moment. The God-Eater brain used this energy fluctuation to sense an independent space. As expected, there's a secret in this black hole of death. Yi Chen-feng suddenly opened his eyes and quickly appeared at the energy fluctuation. With a thought, he summoned the transformed Chaos Divine Wood and controlled it to attack this fluctuating space. Boom boom! The Chaos Divine Wood had devoured a large amount of heavenly soul power and had transformed to an unimaginable level. Under the attacks of the Chaos Divine Wood and the Golden Sword Soul, the cracks in the fluctuating space became bigger and bigger. Yi Chen-feng could clearly sense the aura of the mysterious space. Finally, under Yi Chen-feng's continuous attacks, the extremely tough space wall shattered. Yi Chen-feng's body flashed and entered the mysterious space. Stone doors, what two huge stone doors! After entering the mysterious space, Yi Chen-feng immediately took out 2 moonlight stones and used them to illuminate the entire space. He checked his surroundings. Right now, in this mysterious space, there were 2 towering stone doors that were as tall as mountains. They disappeared into the darkness. I don't think I've found the wrong place. The ancient mystery that Father was talking about is behind this stone door. Yi Chen-feng slowly walked in front of the towering stone door. He took a deep breath and stimulated the power of his 5 acupoints, pushing his physical strength to the limit. He then pushed one of the stone doors with all his might. Activating the power of his 5 acupuncture points, Yi Chen-feng's physical strength instantly increased to 2.5 billion jin. However, when he poured it into the stone door, he couldn't move it at all. However, Yi Chen-feng did not give up. He took a deep breath and instantly ignited his primordial bloodline, instantly increasing his strength by 3 times. He also deduced his Tao will to the extreme and pushed the stone door with all his might, wanting to push it open. However, this stone door was too heavy. Yi Chen-feng raised his physical strength to 7.5 billion jin, but he was still unable to move the stone door an inch. Black Rock Emperor, Demon Ba, the 2 saint beasts come out. With a thought, Yi Chen-feng summoned his 4 helpers to help him push open the 2 terrifying stone doors. The Demon Ba was a 1-star demon lord, and the Black Rock Emperor was only a hair's breadth away from becoming a 1-star demon lord. In addition to the Chaos God Beast and the Golden Clear Dragon Bloodlion, they could even move a towering divine mountain. However, even with their combined strength, they were still unable to move these 2 stone doors. After bitterly trying several times, Yi Chen-feng could only give up. Young Master Yi, I believe that these stone doors cannot be pushed open with brute force. There must be some other mystery behind them. The Black Rock Emperor carefully observed the 2 stone doors for a while and found a palm-sized groove next to the stone doors. It seems that if I want to enter here, I must find a key to open these 2 stone doors. Yi Chen-feng gently stroked the groove beside the stone door, memorizing the shape of the groove. Then he summoned the Black Rock Emperor, Demonic Ba, and the 2 holy beasts back into the universe realm. He left this mysterious space and prepared to go to the treasure pavilion to try his luck. You're out so soon? Seeing Yi Chen-feng leave after only a few days of training in the black hole of death, Elder Zhen revealed a trace of doubt. I'm preparing to go into seclusion for a few days. I'll disturb Elder Zhen another day. Yi Chen-feng casually made up an excuse. All right, Elder, I said that the black hole of death is open to you unconditionally. You can come whenever you want. Elder Zhen nodded and said. After bidding farewell to Elder Zhen, Yi Chen-feng summoned a red-crowned crane and rode it directly to the treasure pavilion of the Ethereal Heaven Sect to look for the key to open the secret realm. However, he used his identity to search the entire treasure pavilion of the Ethereal Heaven Sect, but to no avail. Where should I go to find a key to open the secret realm? The secret realm was too far away from the present. Wanting to find a key to open the secret realm was like looking for a needle in a haystack. However, the temptation of the ancient mystery was too great. Yi Chen-feng could not give up. Yi Chen-feng. Just as Yi Chen-feng was about to leave the treasure pavilion regretfully, he heard a pleasant-sounding female voice in his ear. She was wearing a colorful long dress. Her skin was as smooth as milk, and her delicate face revealed a hint of playfulness. Yu Jianfeng, who had a tall and straight figure and exuded a strong sword intent, walked over slowly like a divine general. Senior brother Yu, senior sister Hua. Yi Chenfeng looked at the two peerless geniuses of the ethereal heaven sect and smiled. Yi Chenfeng, senior brother Yu, and I would like to compete with you. I wonder if you'll accept? Huashi blinked her beautiful big eyes and looked at Yi Chenfeng's handsome face. Sure, but regardless of the outcome, can the two of you help me find something? Thinking of the two's identity, Yi Chenfeng came up with a plan. If they were willing to help, the chances of him finding the key to open the secret realm from the ethereal heaven sect will be greatly increased. What are you looking for? Yu Jianfeng said with a hint of sharpness in his voice. An antique I saw in an ancient book. I'm more interested in it. Yi Chenfeng said. Sure, you fight with us, and I'll help you find the antique. Yu Jianfeng wanted to compete with Yi Chenfeng to see who was the real number one genius of the ethereal heaven sect. As for the antique mentioned by Yi Chenfeng, he was also interested and wanted to find it for himself to study. Let's go to the battle arena. Yi Chenfeng didn't waste any time and immediately went to the battle arena with Yu Jianfeng and Hua Shi, ready to compete. The news about the battle between the three of them spread like wildfire across the entire Misty Heaven sect. Many disciples of the Misty Heaven sect rushed to the battle arena, wanting to see the battle between the top three geniuses of the Misty Heaven sect. Who wants to challenge me first? Yi Chenfeng's body flashed and appeared on the battle arena like a bolt of lightning, exuding a domineering aura. Senior brother Yu, let this little sister go first. Huashi's beautiful big eyes revealed a strong fighting spirit as she said eagerly. Okay. Yu Jianfeng nodded. Thank you, senior brother Yu. A faint smile appeared on Huashi's pretty face. With a light tap of her toes, she landed lightly on the arena like a blooming rose. Although Huashi was delicate and charming, no one in the ethereal heaven sect dared to look down on her. Her talent was also known as the number one in the ethereal heaven sect. However, Yi Chenfeng's face didn't show any emotion. Junior brother Yi, be careful. She suddenly bloomed a smile that was more beautiful than a flower. A strange power spread out from her body and blasted into Yi Chenfeng's sea of soul. A large number of strange illusions appeared in his sea of soul, confusing his mind. Chapter 16:03. Whoosh! Huashi took Yi Chenfeng by surprise. When she used the power of illusion to confuse his mind, her body moved at the same time. She held a dragon head spear that was longer than her body and made of special materials and stabbed at Yi Chenfeng's chest. 8-1 Chinese. 8-1-1Z 1-1C 1-0-1. Amazed, the spear stabbed. Layers of air were directly pierced. The terrifying spear light was invincible and blended with terrifying Tao will. It could even pierce through mountains. Seeing that Huashi's spear was about to pierce Yi Chenfeng's throat, Yi Chenfeng, whose eyes flickered with the illusory Xian-level Tao diagram, stretched out a finger. More than 2.5 billion power burst and poured into his finger as he pointed at the tip of the dragon head spear. Buzz! An ear-piercing buzzing sound was heard. Yi Chenfeng blocked Huashi's spear with a finger. The terrifying power passed through the spear and shattered layers of Tao will and poured into Huashi's arm, causing her arm to feel severe numbness. What great strength! Huashi's expression changed slightly. She did not expect Yi Chenfeng's strength to be so horrifying. He was able to neutralize her attack with one finger. She quickly withdrew her spear and leaped into the air. Then, she interweaved spear lights that looked like coiling dragons and attacked Yi Chenfeng. Cosmos Sword Array. Streaks of divine dragon spear light pierced towards Yi Chenfeng. Yi Chenfeng did not dodge. With a thought, a large number of Qianquan swords flew out of his body. Under the control of his will, they transformed into an extremely powerful Qianquan sword formation, crushing the streaks of divine dragon spear light. Sky-piercing spear. The interweaving divine dragon spear lights were constantly being crushed. Huashi instantly merged with the dragon head spear and turned into an incomparably huge divine spear that seemed to be able to pierce through space. It blended with two Xian-level Dao diagrams and ruthlessly stabbed at the Cosmos Sword Array in front of Yi Qinfeng. The power of this spear was extremely shocking and almost reached the peak of Huashi's attack. However, the Cosmos Ring had merged with more than 100 supreme sacred swords, and its power was greatly enhanced. Huashi's sky-piercing spear couldn't pierce the Cosmos Sword Array at all. Heaven and Earth Star Seal. When the two attacks clashed fiercely in midair, Yi Qinfeng's hands twisted quickly. Rolling golden Dao power surged between his palms, turning into a giant handprint that seemed to contain the stars of heaven and earth. With the power to destroy everything, it blasted toward the heavenly spear that she had transformed into. Boom! The heaven and earth star seal shattered, and so did the gigantic heaven-raising spear shadow. The terrifying explosive force slammed into Huashi's body and sent her flying. She almost fell out of the arena and lost the match. So strong. This Yi Qinfeng is really strong. Senior sister Hua's sky-raising spear couldn't do anything to him. Nonsense. This Yi Qinfeng is the one who broke our ancestors' record. How can he not be strong? I wonder if senior brother Yu can defeat him? I don't think so. Although senior brother Yu is strong, he is only a little stronger than senior sister Hua. And this Yi Qinfeng is facing senior sister Hua with ease. He didn't use his full strength at all. I think senior brother Yu is no match for him. Watching Yi Qinfeng break Huashi's attack with a single handprint and push her back, the ethereal heaven sect disciples below the arena whispered to each other. However, Yu Jianfeng turned a deaf ear to the crowd's discussion. This kind of discussion had no effect on him, who had a firm heart of martial arts. Yi Qinfeng, can you show me your true strength? The proud Huashi slammed her dragon head spear on the ground and said angrily, Well, then, senior sister Hua, take my punch. As he spoke, the 5 elements heaven-level Dao diagram appeared on Yi Qinfeng's body and hovered above his head. Heaven-level Dao diagram. That Yi Qinfeng actually cultivated the Dao intent to such an extent. Looking at the 5 elements heaven-level Dao diagram condensed by Yi Qinfeng, everyone present revealed a look of horror. Even Yu Jianfeng's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. In the next moment, Yi Qinfeng fused his physical strength with the 5 elements heaven-level Dao diagram and executed the true spirit dragon fighting fist at Huashi. With a punch, the space in front of him immediately rioted. The terrifying power shattered the layers of air, carrying a suffocating power as it blasted towards Huashi. Break! Facing Yi Qinfeng's true spirit dragon fighting fist, Huashi burned her powerful bloodline power and raised her strength to the limit. She forcefully thrust her dragon head spear forward. Boom! When the dragon head spear pierced Yi Qinfeng's true spirit dragon fighting fist, a force that was beyond Huashi's imagination exploded. The rolling force was like a tide that broke through a dam, bombarding Huashi's body, directly shattering her body's defense and sending her flying hundreds of meters away. She fell off the stage and lost the match. Strong. This Yi Qinfeng's strength is too strong. Senior sister Hua actually couldn't withstand his punch. Yi Qinfeng, you really didn't disappoint me. Yu Jianfeng's eyes revealed a strong fighting spirit. His body flashed and appeared on the stage like a divine sword. A terrifying sword aura soared into the sky and locked onto Yi Qinfeng. I have never disappointed anyone, Yi Qinfeng said with an indifferent expression. All right. Yu Jianfeng took a deep breath. A large number of sword cries reverberated from his body. A terrifying sword aura pervaded the surroundings, causing the sacred swords in the bodies of all the disciples below the stage to hum. It was as though Yu Jianfeng was the emperor of the sword Dao and could make all the swords worship him. 5-star Dao Emperor. Senior brother Yu has broken through to the 5-star Dao Emperor realm. Sensing the aura emitted by Yu Jianfeng, the disciples on the stage immediately confirmed that Yu Jianfeng's realm was on par with Yi Qinfeng and was also a 5-star Dao Emperor. Ka. When Yu Jianfeng mobilized his powerful sword aura, Yi Qinfeng suddenly took rhythmic steps and walked towards him step by step. With every step Yi Qinfeng took, the aura in his body doubled. The increasingly powerful aura faintly suppressed Yu Jianfeng's sword aura. Slash! Yu Jianfeng's body moved. With a flash, he transformed into a sword and slashed out. The terrifying sword light transformed into the shape of a half-moon. Like a beam of light, it slashed towards Yi Qinfeng's head. Boom! When Yu Jianfeng slashed out a sword light, Yi Qinfeng immediately blasted out a punch. The terrifying fist light smashed onto the half-moon sword light and used the most brutal method to shatter it. Boundless Thunder Wind Sword. When Yi Qinfeng broke the attack with a punch, a mid-grade, true spirit artifact grade longsword appeared in Yu Jianfeng's hand. It carried a terrifying wind and thunder aura as it attacked Yi Qinfeng. When the sword slashed out, wind and thunder moved together. The terrifying sword aura swept through the endless void and directly enveloped Yi Qinfeng. True Spirit Fighting Dragon Fist. Facing Yu Jianfeng's killer move, Yi Qinfeng quickly deduced the 5 elements Heaven Dao diagram and blasted out terrifying fist light that was enough to kill a true dragon. It constantly shattered Yu Jianfeng's Boundless Thunder Wind Sword and broke his killer move. Yi Qinfeng, do you think that I'm not worthy for you to execute the Misty Sword Cannon? Although Yi Qinfeng's attack was ferocious, Yu Jianfeng knew that Yi Qinfeng's real killer move was the supreme grade True Spirit Saint Art, the Misty Sword Cannon. He said with some annoyance, "All right, senior brother Yu, be careful." With a thought, Yi Qinfeng's Sacred Eclipse sword appeared in his hand. Immediately after, the 3 profound Dao diagrams appeared and merged with the 5 elements Heaven Dao diagram, turning into a sea of Dao intent. Misty True Sword. When Yi Qinfeng deduced the power of Dao intent to the extreme, he instantly mobilized the terrifying power of Dao intent and fused it into the Sacred Eclipse sword, slashing out with an invincible sword. When the sword slashed out, the terrifying sword light seemed to stir up the misty great Dao. The terrifying power directly left a deep sword mark in the tough space and slashed towards Yu Jianfeng, who had executed his strongest killer move and received it with all his strength. Boom! The 2 killer moves collided and shattered at the same time, turning into endless sword shadows that shone in the void. Although Yi Qinfeng did not borrow the power of the Golden Sword Soul when he executed the Misty True Sword, it was still not something that Yu Jianfeng could resist. In the blink of an eye, the remaining power of the Misty True Sword bombarded Yu Jianfeng's body, directly blasting him off the stage and losing the final match. Chapter 1604. Lost. Senior brother, you lost just like that. It didn't even take half an incense's time. Seeing Yi Qinfeng's ethereal true extreme sword sent Yu Jianfeng flying off the stage. The spectating disciples below the stage couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. They were disappointed by Yi Qinfeng's terrifying battle strength. 8. Chinese? 8. 1. Z. Come, senior brother Yu, senior sister Hua. Thank you for letting me win. Yi Qinfeng said apologetically as he leaped off the arena and helped Yu Jianfeng, who was covered in blood, up. There's no such thing as letting you win or not admitting it. You are stronger than me. I admit defeat. Although Yu Jianfeng was proud and arrogant, he was also a person who could accept defeat. He said in a carefree manner, Yi Qinfeng, can you tell me where your true limit is? Huaxi, whose face was slightly pale, walked over and stared at Yi Qinfeng, who had easily defeated her, and asked, if I use all my trump cards, I should have a chance to defeat a peak 6-star Dao Emperor. Yi Qinfeng pondered for a moment and said, Sigh, with your battle strength, it's no wonder I lost to you. Huaxi sighed softly and said, Tell me the ancient item you need. We will help you find it. Thank you, senior sister Hua, senior brother Yu. Yi Qinfeng told Yu Jianfeng and Hua Shi in detail about the shape of the key to open the secret realm. Under the gazes of reverence, he left the stage and returned to the White Cliff courtyard to wait for news. Qinfeng, Where have you been these few days? Xiao Wendy, who was trying to break through to the two-star Dao Emperor realm with all her strength, stopped cultivating when she sensed Yi Qinfeng's return. She came to the courtyard and asked softly, I found the ethereal heaven sect's secret realm, but because I don't have the key, I can't enter. Just now, I had a battle with Yu Jianfeng and Hua Shi. I am planning to borrow their strength to help me find the key to enter the secret realm from the ethereal heaven sect. Yi Qinfeng didn't hide anything from Xiao Wendy. Great, this lady is looking forward to breaking through to the two-star Dao Emperor realm. Xiao Wendy's beautiful big eyes curved into a crescent shape as she said excitedly. Days passed. Because of Yu Jianfeng and Yu Jianfeng, Yi Qinfeng had been waiting in the White Cliff courtyard for news. But a month had passed in a row, and he still did not wait for Yu Jianfeng and Yu Yang. He could not help but feel somewhat anxious in his heart. If he couldn't find the key to the secret realm, it would be useless even if he found the secret realm, unless he woke up Torch Dragon and tried to force open the door to the secret realm. While Yi Qinfeng was waiting for news, Shui Xuan and Yu Lanxin constantly came to visit him, sparring with him and exchanging cultivation experiences. Although Yi Qinfeng's strength was far superior to the two girls had extraordinary talents and vast knowledge. While interacting with them, Yi Qinfeng benefited a lot, allowing him to gradually grasp the concept of the Misty Sword Cannon's third move, Misty Grandao Sword. Just as Yi Qinfeng waited for over 3 months, Yu Jianfeng suddenly paid a visit. Senior brother Yu, have you found the antique I need? Looking at the imposing Yu Jianfeng, Yi Qinfeng went straight to the point and asked, Is this what you're looking for? As Yu Jianfeng spoke, he took out a palm-sized black stone plate from his universe ring. It didn't have the slightest trace of runes on its surface, seeming extremely ordinary. Yes, this is it. Receiving the black stone plate, Yi Qinfeng gently stroked it. He was completely sure that this stone plate was made of the same material as the Mystic Realm's entrance. He was basically sure that this stone plate was the secret realm key he was looking for. Junior apprentice brother Yi, after I obtained this stone plate from my father, I studied it for over a month, but I couldn't find anything special about it. I wonder if you could tell me what is so special about this stone plate. Although Yi Qinfeng tried his best to conceal his excitement, the sharp-eyed Yu Jianfeng was still able to detect a trace of suspicion. I saw this stone plate in an ancient text. It seems to be hiding some secret, but I need to study it for a while before I can find out what it is. Yi Qinfeng had already thought of an excuse. Yu Jianfeng meaningfully glanced at Yi Qinfeng. He didn't ask any more questions and turned to leave. All right, you take your time studying it. If you need anything, come find me. Did you find it? Just as Yu Jianfeng left, Xiao Wendy came to Yi Qinfeng's room and laid down a soundproofing spell. I found it. But in order to avoid alerting the enemy, we'll wait for a period of time before going to the Mystic Realm. Yi Qinfeng nodded and placed the black stone plate into the universe mirror. Soon, a year passed. During this year, Yi Qinfeng was the same as always. When he had nothing to do, he would train with Shui Xuan and Yu Lanxin, the two icy beauties. When he was free, he would wander around misty, immortal mountains. Finally, one day, he felt that the time was right. He transmitted Xiao Wendy into the universe mirror and arrived outside the black hole of death. True Elder, I want to enter the black hole of death again. Is that possible? Yi Qinfeng softly asked. Of course. True Elder nodded and opened the spell, allowing Yi Qinfeng to enter the black hole of death that was filled with the power of death and undead spirits. After entering the black hole of death, Yi Qinfeng immediately increased his speed to the limit and rushed towards the end of the black hole of death. Soon, he arrived at the end of the black hole of death. Summoning the space-devouring bug, he broke through the layers of seals and entered a mysterious space that was as dark as ink. He arrived at 2 towering stone doors that were as tall as mountains. I hope this is the key to opening the Mystic Realm. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath. He took out the black stone plate and placed it in the groove below the stone doors. Perfect. Seeing the black stone plate perfectly fit in the groove, Yi Qinfeng was secretly delighted. He erupted with a powerful physical strength and gently twisted the stone plate. Ka ka ka. As the stone plate twisted, the two towering stone doors that were submerged in the darkness began to shake. A terrifying strength fluctuated, causing the entire space to tremble. A loud rumbling sound rang out. Not good. Yi Chunfeng did not expect that the opening of the two stone doors would cause such a huge commotion. His expression changed slightly as several thoughts flashed through his mind. After thinking for a while, he did not leave. Instead, he waited for the stone doors to open and enter the mystic realm. What's going on? As the towering stone doors slowly opened, the entire misty, immortal mountain began to tremble. The experts of the misty immortal sect were alerted. They followed the source of the tremors and arrived outside the black hole of death. True Elder, what's going on here? Feeling the strongest tremors coming from the black hole of death, Yu Xian's expression changed slightly as he asked in a low voice. I don't know. True Elder shook his head and said doubtfully. He had guarded the black hole of death for countless years and had never encountered such a strange thing. He did not know why the black hole of death would shake so violently. True Elder, do you know who is in the black hole of death? Xue Shujun, the patriarch of the Xue family, asked. It's Yi Chunfeng. He was the only one who entered the black hole of death. True Elder said truthfully. Yi Chunfeng? Why is it him? Could it be that the huge tremors coming from the black hole of death are related to him? Yu Xian and the others guessed. Father, do you still remember that black stone plate I asked you for? That stone plate was what Yi Chunfeng asked for. Perhaps the black hole of death's sudden tremors are related to it. Yu Jianfeng suddenly thought of something and said, Let's go in and see what Yi Chunfeng is up to. After saying that, Yu Xian and the others were about to charge into the black hole of death to investigate. Just as they entered the black hole of death, a terrifying restrictive force spread out from the black hole of death. This force was so strong that it instantly collapsed the entire black hole of death. In the next moment, two mysterious stone doors slowly opened in the misty, immortal mountain. They pierced through the clouds and shattered the terrifying restrictive force that enveloped the misty, immortal mountain, shocking the entire area. Chapter 16:05. Yi Chunfeng, what are you doing? When Yu Xian and the others rushed through the stone door that pierced through the clouds, they found Yi Chunfeng, who was covered in blood, staring at a slowly rotating light wheel. Baba. Chinese. Equals is not equal to equals. Less than or equal to, I'm sorry, sect leader. I didn't tell you the reason. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly and turned around slowly. Although the stone door was open, when he entered, he found an even more terrifying light wheel restriction spell. The strength of this restriction spell was beyond his imagination. When the space-swallowing insect tried to devour the light wheel restriction spell, it was severely injured. Helpless, he could only think of other ways. Yi Chunfeng, what is this place? How do you know about this place? Yu Xian said with an unfriendly face. Sect leader, do you know about the ancient secret of the Misty Heaven sect? Yi Chunfeng thought for a while and said, Ancient secret? You mean this is the ancient secret of the Misty Heaven sect that has been passed down for countless years? As the sect leader of the Misty Heaven sect, Yu Xian knew about the ancient secret of the Misty Heaven sect. However, there were too many legends about the ancient secret. The ancestors of the Misty Heaven sect had searched for it, but they couldn't find it. After a long time, the ancient secret was only recorded in ancient books and gradually faded from people's minds. Yes, this should be the most mysterious ancient secret of the Misty Heaven sect. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, I also learned about this place by chance from an ancient book. Then, with senior brother Yu's help, I found the key to open the ancient secret. Yi Chunfeng, you joined the Misty Heaven sect for the ancient secret, right? Yu Xian said with a frown. Who wouldn't be moved by such a rare opportunity? Yi Chunfeng said with a calm expression. Yi Chunfeng, this ancient secret is the inheritance of the Misty Heaven sect's ancestors. Now that it has been discovered, we won't let anyone else touch it. Yu Xian was also clear about the value of the ancient mystery. If the Misty Heaven sect could obtain the ancient mystery item, the overall strength of the Misty Heaven sect would definitely reach a terrifying level. They could even become one of the most powerful forces in the Void Zone. Yes, Yi Chenfeng nodded. He didn't stay for long and turned to leave. Father, this Yi Chenfeng is definitely not simple. How should we treat him? Yu Jianfeng looked at Yi Chenfeng's departing figure and transmitted his voice. Send someone to observe his whereabouts first. If he tries to force his way out, the Misty Heaven sect will eliminate him. If he doesn't want to leave, we'll keep him here for a while. Yu Xian revealed his ruthless nature and said, also, seal off all information about the mystic realm. If I find out that someone leaked the information, don't blame me for killing them. Due to the appearance of the secret realm, the Misty Immortal Mountain's defenses had been raised to the highest level. However, the appearance of the two majestic stone doors had caused a huge commotion, and it had alarmed many of the major powers of the Misty Immortal Mountain. In addition, there was no such thing as an absolute secret. Soon, the news of the appearance of the Misty Heaven sect's mystic realm had spread throughout the entire Void Zone like the wind. Even many terrifying forces outside the Void Zone had received the news. For a moment, the entire Void Zone was bustling with noise and excitement. The Misty Heaven sect's mystic realm was even more exaggerated, making many forces and races drool, wanting to get a share of the pie. Chenfeng, are you really willing to give the ancient secret to someone else? Yi Chenfeng returned to the White Cliff courtyard and immediately activated the restrictions in the courtyard. He rejected everyone and waited patiently. No, I must get the sword principle. Yi Chenfeng shook his head and said, however, I can't open the light wheel restriction in the mystic realm. I can only open it with someone else's help. Aren't you afraid that the mystic realm will attract a large number of experts? Xiao Wenyi asked worriedly. Don't worry. Everything is going according to my plan. There won't be any mistakes. Yi Chenfeng gently scratched Xiao Wenyi's small nose and said, what we need to do now is wait. Yi Chenfeng waited calmly, but Yu Xian and the others could not hold it in anymore. They had used all the power they could, but they were still unable to break the light wheel restriction. They fell into a state of anxiety. What should we do? Sect leader. Now, many forces are loitering around the Misty Immortal Mountain. Obviously, we are here for the ancient secret. The second elder, Hua Xing, felt the severity of the situation and said with a frown, Sai, I can't be sure whether the ancient secret is a blessing or a curse for the Misty Heaven sect. Yu Xian sighed softly. All of this is caused by Yi Chenfeng. If the ancient secret is missed by the Misty Heaven sect, I will not forgive him. The great elder, Feng Milan, snorted coldly. We can't touch Yi Chenfeng. Yu Xian shook his head and said helplessly, he was able to find the ancient secret of the Misty Heaven sect that has been passed down for countless years. It proves that he is not simple. If we touch him, it is equivalent to touching the force behind him. It might bring disaster to the Misty Heaven sect. Sect leader, Palace Master Tsang of the Eternal Celestial Palace and Master Tianqing of the Nine Clarities Mountain are here. While Yu Xian and the others were discussing countermeasures, a disciple immediately ran in to report. Sai, will come. Let's go and welcome Palace Master Tsang and Master Tianqing. Yu Xian sighed softly. The Eternal Celestial Palace was the #1 force in the Nihility region. Palace Master Tsang Mang was known as the #1 expert in the Nihility region. He had cultivated to the peak of the 6-star Downlord level. He was not someone the Misty Heaven sect could offend. On the other hand, Nine Clarity Mountain's overall strength was only slightly weaker than Eternal Celestial Palace. Nine Clarity Mountain's sect master, Lord Tianqing, was a 5-star Downlord, so Yu Xian didn't dare delay their arrival. He quickly opened up the restrictions and welcomed them into the Misty Heaven sect. Palace Master Tsang, Master Tianqing, please forgive me for not coming out to meet you. Yu Xian lowered his posture and said politely, Sect Leader Yu, I heard that the secret realm of your sect that has been passed down for countless years has opened. I wonder if Sect Leader Yu is willing to share this secret with us? If Sect Leader Yu is willing, Our two forces are willing to share the same name as the Misty Heaven sect and advance and retreat together. Song Mang, who is known as the strongest person in the Nihility region, took a sip of his tea and went straight to the point. This, Palace Master Song, Master Tianqing, this matter is too important. Can you let us discuss it? Yuxian said hesitantly. No problem. We will wait here for your good news. Song Mang said, as if he was certain that the Misty Heaven sect would be under his control. I will give Palace Master Song and Master Tianqing an answer in 2 hours at most. After he finished speaking, Yuxian left with the three patriarchs. Sect leader, we can't afford to offend these two forces. It seems like they won't give up until they achieve their goal. What should we do? Lord Shueshu's brows were tightly knit together as he spoke worriedly. Let's go. Let's go find Yi Qinfeng and ask for his opinion. Yuxian sighed helplessly. Sect leader, you want to borrow Yi Qinfeng's power from behind the scenes? Hua Ziying asked. That's right. Yuxian nodded and said, since Yi Qinfeng dares to open the secret realm, he should be prepared. Let's go find out what he has to say. Perhaps there will be an opportunity to get out of this predicament. After he finished speaking, Yuxian and the others left the Misty Heaven Palace and went to the White Cliff courtyard where Yi Qinfeng cultivated. Chapter 1606. Qinfeng, we have something to discuss. Please deactivate the restrictions in the courtyard. Yuxian and the others didn't forcefully tear open the restrictions. Instead, they stood outside the courtyard and spoke in a low voice. 8th High School, Literature Net, is almost equal to less than or equal to. Sect leader, 3 family heads, please come in. Hearing Yuxian's voice, Yi Qinfeng deactivated the restrictions and welcomed the 4 into the courtyard. Sect leader, 3 family heads, may I know the reason for your visit today? Yi Qinfeng asked even though he already knew the answer. He had Xia Winnie pour spiritual tea for the 4 of them. Qinfeng, I won't beat around the bush with you. Now that the secret realm has become a hot topic, all the major factions want a share of the pie. Do we need your help? Yuxian sighed softly in his heart and said helplessly, Sect leader, do you trust me? Yi Qinfeng took a sip of tea and asked leisurely. Compared to those people, I'd rather trust you. Yuxian said, all right, since you've chosen to work with me, I'll give you a promise first. Yi Qinfeng said, no matter what the outcome is, the Ethereal Heaven sect will obtain a great opportunity in the secret realm. Really? With the arrival of the patriarchs of the Eternal Heavenly Palace and 9 Clarity Mountain, Yuxian no longer dared to dream of monopolizing the treasures in the secret realm. Based on Yuxian's understanding of them, they wouldn't leave anything for the Ethereal Heavenly sect. Therefore, Yuxian was overjoyed when he heard Yi Qinfeng's promise. Since I dare to say it, I'll definitely do it. Yi Qinfeng nodded and said resolutely, all right, then we'll trust you this time. Yuxian gritted his teeth and made the choice helplessly. Sect leader, since you trust me, then do as I say. Yi Qinfeng said with a smile. Speak. Open the gates and let all those who covet the mystery realm come and enter the mystery realm together. Yi Qinfeng said. Qinfeng, are you trying to mess up the situation and make it more complicated? Shui Shujun frowned slightly. This is only one aspect. Yi Qinfeng nodded and said, the most important thing is that the restrictions in the mystic realm are not simple. We need to borrow the help of others to break the restrictions. The more people we have, the less danger we will face in the mystic realm. More importantly, this mystery realm was left behind by the ancestors of the Misty Heaven sect. The restrictive spells in this mystery realm can't affect us much, but they can do a lot of damage to the invaders. Maybe we can use this opportunity to weaken the other forces and lay the foundation for the rise of the Misty Heaven sect. All right, then we'll do as you say. Yuxian pondered over Yi Qinfeng's words. Although this decision was a little risky, they had already been forced into a dead end. They could only seek survival in the midst of danger. Xin Yu and the other 3 stayed in the White Cliff courtyard for a while to discuss the details with Yi Qinfeng. Then, they returned to the Misty Hall and informed Vast Expanse and Guru Heavenclear their decision to share the secret realm with the Eternal Celestial Palace and 9 Clarities Mountain. Then, Yuxian closed the restrictive spells that enveloped the misty immortal mountain, allowing the other forces to enter the Misty Heaven sect. In an instant, the Misty Heaven sect became the most lively sect in the zone of nihility. Many forces rushed over after hearing the news, making the situation more and more complicated. Sect leader Yu, can you take us to the mystery realm now? Vast Expanse was angry at Yuxian's decision to share the treasures in the mystery realm with all the other forces, but he believed in his own strength and the power of the eternal celestial palace. All right, let's go. Yuxian nodded and led the group to a huge stone gate that was as big as a mountain. Holding the key in his hand, he opened the gate and entered. Together, they broke the restrictive spells of the light wheel. Chengfeng, the other forces have entered the stone gate. Sect leader asked me to ask you if you want to go. While the other forces were breaking the restrictive spells of the light wheel, Shui Piaomiao, who was wearing a long white dress, found Yi Chunfeng and asked in a soft voice, "No hurry. Now is not the time." Yi Chunfeng knew how powerful the restrictive spells of the light wheel were. If they tried to break it by force, it could cause casualties. Therefore, he was not in a hurry to enter the mystery realm. The restrictive spells of the light wheel were beyond imagination. Vast Expanse, Master Tianqing, and the other top forces of the Zone of Nihility worked together for 3 days and 3 nights, but they still failed to break the restrictive spells. However, the more powerful the restrictive spells of the light wheel were, the more it proved that the treasures in the mystery realm of the Misty Heaven sect were extraordinary. It strengthened Vast Expanse and the others' patience. On the 5th day, many invincible war chariots appeared in the sky above the Misty Heaven sect. Their terrifying aura spread out, making many disciples of the Misty Heaven sect tremble in fear. Azure Sky War Chariots. They are from the Azure Sky clan. Looking at the war chariots drawn with ancient patterns in the sky, Shui Piaomiao recognized them immediately. They were the war chariots of the Azure Sky clan, one of the overlords of the Zone of Nihility. Azure Sky clan. Yi Chenfeng's pupils shrank. He immediately remembered that Star Emperor's enemy was the Azure Sky clan. Shui Piaomiao sensed the evil aura emitted from Xia Wendy's body. What? Do you have a grudge against the Azure Sky clan? Shui Piaomiao looked at Xia Wendy and asked in a low voice. Kind of, Yi Chenfeng said vaguely, not telling the truth. Chengfeng, I don't know what your background is, but I advise you not to provoke the Azure Sky clan. Shui Piaomiao reminded him seriously. You can't imagine how terrifying the Azure Sky clan is. They are backed by the Imperial Sky clan, the overlord of the Nihility world. There are 2 divine realm experts in the Azure Sky clan. Even the Eternal Heaven Palace, the top force of the Zone of Nihility, can't compete with them. Don't worry, Palace Master. We will be careful. Yi Chenfeng held Xia Wendy's soft hand and said, Sai, I hope you will listen to me. Shui Piaomiao sighed. Azure Sky Clan leader, I didn't expect you to come. Song Meng immediately recognized the tall figure who was wearing a dark blue robe. He was the clan leader of the Green Sky Clan. He was Tianji Dao, who had just broken through to the 1-star Dao God realm. It's so lively here. How can we miss out on the Azure Sky Clan? Tianji Dao, who was more than 10 times stronger than Song Meng, showed a proud smile and said, Sect Master Yu, we came without warning. You won't mind, right? Why would I? If I knew you were coming, I would have welcomed you personally. Although Tianji Dao had brought more than 20 experts of the Azure Sky Clan to fight for the treasure, Yuxian didn't dare to show any dissatisfaction. Instead, he kept a low profile. This was the difference in strength. In the Heaven region, with a strong preyed on the weak could only be bullied. Tianji Dao's arrival made the situation more complicated. When Yi Chenfeng found out that Tianji Dao was a 1-star Divine Realm expert, he felt a little troubled. Although the Divine Demon Torch Dragon was more powerful than Tianji Dao, Torch Dragon's injuries were too serious. He didn't know how much strength Torch Dragon could use now. However, he couldn't back down now. He could only continue to wait. The power of the light wheel restriction was beyond imagination. Tianji Dao couldn't break it in a short time. This made everyone look forward to the treasure in the Misty Heaven sect's secret territory even more. They tried their best to break it at all costs. Finally, after nearly a month's time, the light wheel's restriction formation finally cracked open. A terrifying restriction power seeped out from the cracks. It's cracked. It's finally cracked. Looking at the cracks in the barrier, the experts of the major forces who had worked so hard were overjoyed. They increased the intensity of their attacks, wanting to break through the barrier in one go and enter the secret realm. P.S. Don't miss the photo of Yi Chenfeng tonight. Add him on WeChat and you will see it. Chapter 16:07. Break it, Tian Jidao roared. The light wheel that was suspended above his head seemed to contain the endless power of the heavenly way. It shone with a dazzling light, like a sun that had fallen into the mortal world and crashed into the light wheel restriction that was full of cracks. 8th High School, 1 Long, 1, 8, 1, Z, Com, low-grade transcendent saint weapon, the blue sky wheel. I didn't expect Tianji Dao to bring it here. Vast expanse, and the others had ugly expressions on their faces as they looked at the wheel of light that gave birth to the blue sky. They were not as strong as Tianji Dao. Now that Tianji Dao had brought a transcendent saint weapon, he could easily crush them and reduce their chances of getting the precious treasures in the mystery land. Retreat. When the blue sky wheel crashed into the light wheel, Yu Xian and the other experts of the ethereal heaven sect retreated as far as possible from the light wheel. Boom, boom, boom. A series of deafening explosions sounded. The terrifying power caused the entire space to tremble. Under the attack of the blue sky wheel, more cracks appeared on the light wheel. Through the cracks, people could vaguely see a gate in the light wheel. Break! After the attack, Tianji Dao pushed his Dao will to the extreme. He controlled the blue sky wheel and continued to crash into the light wheel, breaking the impregnable light wheel. In the next moment, an unimaginable power burst out from the light wheel. The terrifying destructive power swept through the world like a hurricane. It swept toward the experts of the major forces and swallowed them in an instant. As expected, this light wheel restriction is just as Yi Chenfeng guessed. It contains a frightening destructive power. Who knows how many people will lose their lives after suffering such a destructive attack? Sensing the danger, Yu Xian and the others, who had hidden outside the stone gate, escaped. However, the Azure Sky Clan, Eternal Heaven Palace, 9 Clearances Mountain, and Heavenly Path Holy Land suffered heavy losses. Among them, the Eternal Heaven Palace, which was closest to the light wheel, lost 6 Dao Emperors. The Azure Sky Clan, 9 Clearances Mountain, and Heavenly Path Holy Land also suffered casualties. A small force that coveted the ethereal heaven sect's mystery land was completely annihilated. The experts who came were all crushed by the light wheel. What's going on? What kind of power exploded? Shui Piaomiao's expression changed slightly when she felt the entire Misty Mountain suddenly tremble violently. Many of the mountains cracked. If I'm not wrong, the light wheel restriction has been broken. Yi Chenfeng slowly stood up and looked into the distance. Palatial Lord Snow, Motzi, Senior Sister Snow, Third Senior Sister, let's go to the mystic realm. With that, Yi Chenfeng led the 4 women out of the white cliff courtyard, heading towards the black hole of death. Yu Xian, let me ask you, did you already know that this light wheel restriction was dangerous? Vast Expanse, whose robes were severely damaged by the explosion of the light wheel, was furious. He glared angrily at Yu Xian and the others. Palace Master Tsang, you've wronged us. This mystic realm has existed for countless years, and our Misty Heaven sect has very little information about this place. We don't know how dangerous it is inside. Yu Xian's forehead was covered with sweat when he met Vast Expanse's angry eyes. He could only keep defending himself. That's enough, Palace Master Tsang. I don't think they dare to trick us. This is just an accident. Tianji Dao, who was covered in the light of Taoism, glanced coldly at Yu Xian and the others and said indifferently. After saying that, Tianji Dao summoned an abode of immortals and put the severely injured warriors of the Green Sky clan into the abode to heal their wounds. Then he took the others through the pitch-black space entrance and flew into the ethereal secret territory. Humph! Vast Expanse glanced coldly at Yuxian and the others. He also summoned a cave residence and put away the injured experts of the Heavenly Palace. Then he followed Tianji Dao and the others into the Misty Secret Realm. Ancestors bless us. I hope this trip to the Misty Secret Realm will open the opportunity for the rise of our Misty Heaven sect. Yuxian concealed the anger in his eyes well and prayed in his heart. Whether they could gain anything in the mystic realm all depended on Yi Chenfeng. Chenfeng, you are here. Yuxian and the others didn't follow closely after seeing all the major forces swarming into the Misty Secret Realm. They waited until Yi Chenfeng and the other four arrived. Let's go, Sect Master. Let's enter the mystic realm. Yi Chenfeng smiled confidently at Yuxian and the others and led them into the Misty Secret Realm. What a rich heavenly aura! After flying into the mystic realm, Yi Chenfeng found that the heavenly aura floating in the air was extremely rich. In many places, the heavenly aura had turned into liquid. Just a light breath could make people feel refreshed and comfortable. Yes, the teleportation array. After flying for a short while, Yi Chenfeng and the others found a huge teleportation array in front of them. Tianji Dao, Vast Expanse, and the others had already entered the deepest part of the mystic realm through the teleportation array. Matzi, hold on to me tightly. Yi Chenfeng held Xia Wendy's soft hand tightly and reminded her through voice transmission. Walking into the teleportation array, large amounts of teleportation light spilled out from the teleportation array, instantly enveloping Yi Chenfeng and the others. In the next moment, Yi Chenfeng felt his hand being tightly gripped by another cold hand as they disappeared into the teleportation array. After an unknown period of time, the white light in front of Yi Chenfeng disappeared. Yi Chenfeng found himself in a lush forest. Aside from him, there was only Xia Wendy, who was tightly gripping his hand, and the cold and beautiful Shui Xuan. Everyone else had disappeared. It's just as I guessed. That teleportation array is a random teleportation array. Yi Chenfeng muttered to himself. He looked at Shui Xuan and said, Senior Sister Shui, it seems you trust me a lot. Yes, I think you're trustworthy. Following you will bring me greater opportunities. Shui Xuan gently released Yi Chenfeng's hand and used her fingers to gently stroke her long hair as she spoke in a beautiful voice. Since that's the case, let's go and see what opportunities there are in this mystic realm. Yi Chenfeng controlled the god Eater Brain to scan the surroundings and sense for a while. He brought Xia Wendy and Shui Yishuan and flew towards the forest in the distance. After flying for a while, a refreshing aroma entered their nostrils. Following the aroma, the three of them found a strange tree that was over 3 meters tall. It was completely red and covered in sharp thorns. And on this strange tree, there were more than 10 fiery red fruits the size of longans. Fire spirits, sacred fruit. Looking at the fiery red fruits, Shui Yishuan immediately recognized them. They were the legendary fire dragon, sacred fruit. Every fruit was worth as much as a mid-grade true spirit pill and could increase one's comprehension of the Tao of Fire. The fire dragon sacred fruit tree grew extremely slowly. In order to grow to 3 meters tall, it would take tens of millions of years to form a fire dragon sacred fruit. Looking at the fire dragon sacred fruit tree in front of them, Yi Chenfeng and the others did not act rashly. They knew that the more precious a spiritual object was, the more terrifying its guardian would be. Over there, with the help of the god Eater Brain, Yi Chenfeng's gaze locked onto a thick pile of leaves under the fire dragon sacred fruit tree. He sensed danger under the leaves. A saint-level beast. This mystic realm is indeed dangerous. It's hard to find a saint-level beast in the outside world. With a thought, Yi Chenfeng summoned the golden sword soul. Under the control of his mind, it suddenly attacked the thick leaves. Roar! Suddenly attacked by the golden sword soul, a furious roar sounded. A demonic snake, whose body was covered in fiery red scales and had a huge sarcoma on its forehead, crawled out and hissed loudly at Yi Chenfeng. This demonic snake's strength was terrifying, but after being attacked by the golden sword soul, its tough scales were severely damaged and a large amount of blood flowed out. "Don't attack, leave it to me." After saying that, Yi Chuanfeng ignited his grand mist blood and raised his physical body's strength to 7.5 billion jin. He charged at the angry red demonic snake and engaged it in a fierce battle. Although the red demonic snake was terrifying, Yi Chuanfeng's physical body was even stronger. One man and one snake fought fiercely, destroying everything around them. In about half an incense stick's time, Yi Chuanfeng continuously used the true spirit dragon wrestling fist to attack the red demonic snake's weak point. The terrifying strength forcefully broke its neck. In the next moment, the golden sword soul pierced through the demonic snake's head. The sharp attack directly pierced through its huge body and killed it. Chaos Divine would devour. After killing the saint-level beast, Yi Chuanfeng kept its huge body into the Qinkuan realm and summoned the Chaos Divine wood to devour the fire spirit sacred fruit tree. He then plucked 12 fire spirit sacred fruits and shared them with Xiao Wendy and Shui Xuan. Chapter 1608. Chengfeng, how did you cultivate your body? Why is it so terrifying? You can actually kill a sacred beast with your bare hands. Shui Xian was well aware of how terrifying a sacred beast's body was. It could completely crush a top-grade sacred tool, but Yi Chuanfeng was able to kill it so easily. This made Shui Xian very surprised. 8th high school? When first high school? Because I've cultivated a body refining sacred art. Yi Chuanfeng vaguely explained, let's go. We can't let other forces take away the peerless opportunity here. As he spoke, Yi Chuanfeng summoned his sword wings and flew with the two girls into the depths of the vast forest at an extremely fast speed. And what's ahead? Yi Chuanfeng and the other two flew in this vast forest for about 2 days. They killed 2 king-level saint beasts and plucked several saint herbs of heaven and earth that were over 1,000,000 years old. Suddenly, they were attracted by an angry roar in front of them. They sped up and flew over. Sacred beast, violent earth bear. When Yi Chuanfeng and the two girls flew to a steep mountain peak, below the mountain peak, there was a 6-star celestial emperor wearing a dark blue robe. His whole body was filled with the power of heaven. He was holding a long spear and had reached the level of a 6-star celestial emperor. He was fighting with a black bear that was more than 10 feet tall. Its fur stood upright, and its eyes were blood red. Judging from the violent aura of this black bear was the king of the bear clan, the violent earth bear. Its strength had reached the level of a sacred beast. Roar! The violent earth bear roared and stretched out its unimaginably huge paw. It carried the power of billions of pounds and slapped at the blue-robed man. The terrifying power forcibly bent the blue-robed man's long spear and forced him back. Star Moon Pearl. The blue-robed man's strength was not a match for the violent earth bear. He immediately spat out a pearl that was like a star. It emitted a bright moonlight and flew towards the violent earth bear. Boom, boom, boom. Under the incomparably heavy attack of the Star Moon Pearl, the violent earth bear's huge body was constantly pushed back. Its huge body crashed into the towering mountain behind it, shaking the entire mountain. Star Moon Pearl. This seems to be the ancestors' Star Moon Pearl. Looking at the pearl that the blue-robed man had summoned, Xiao Wendy immediately recognized that it seemed to be the Star Moon Pearl, Monarch Star's #1 precious treasure. That's right. That's the Star and Moon Pearl. This person should be the almighty of the Green Sky clan who killed Senior Star Emperor. Yi Chuanfeng nodded. Chengfeng, help me kill him and avenge my ancestors. Xiao Wendy glared hatefully at the blue-robed man, gnashing her teeth as she spoke. All right, you guys wait for me here. I'll go kill this person and take revenge for Senior Star Emperor. Yi Chuanfeng nodded. He flew down from the steep mountain peak while interweaving sword shadows that were tens of thousands of zhang long. Sensing that someone was flying over, the blue-robed man was overjoyed. He shouted at Yi Chuanfeng, Sir, I am Tian Chongxiu, the guardian of the Green Sky clan. Please join hands with me to kill this violent earth bear. At that time, we will definitely share the opportunity it is guarding. No problem. Yi Chenfeng burned his primordial blood and summoned his mid-grade, true spirit saint artifact, the heavenly sacred sword. He weaved out streaks of sword shadows, blocking the violent earth bear's descending paw. Good strength. Tian Chongshu was overjoyed when he saw Yi Chenfeng neutralize the violent earth bear's attack. He controlled the star and moon pearl to attack the violent earth bear. The moment Tian Chongshu attacked with all his strength, he suddenly felt a sense of danger from the depths of his heart. His expression changed slightly. At this moment, Yi Chenfeng's entire body merged with the heavenly sacred sword. He performed the 1-meter boundless sword at close range and slashed at him. With a slash, the 1-meter boundless sword slashed down from the sky. The terrifying sword aura evolved the Tao of heaven and earth, carrying an unstoppable force. It ruthlessly slashed at Tian Chongshu's body, breaking through his body's defenses and slamming him down to the ground. A large amount of blood spurted out from his body. Green Wan's Sacred Bow. After succeeding in his sneak attack, Yi Chenfeng immediately summoned the Blue Wan's Sacred Bow. He deduced his Tao intent to the extreme and pulled the Blue Wan's Sacred Bow into the shape of a full moon. Then, he shot out 3 arrows consecutively towards the heavily injured Tian Chongshu. Roar! 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 When Yi Chenfeng attacked Tian Chongshu with all his strength, the berserk violent earth bear let out a roar. Like a towering mountain, it suddenly slammed at Yi Chenfeng and collided with Yi Chenfeng's body. The violent earth bear was known for its strength. Its physical body was even more terrifying. However, when its mountain-like body collided with Yi Chenfeng, it lost control for a moment and was pushed back by Yi Chenfeng's explosive force of 7.5 billion pounds. Relying on his powerful Xian body to take on the violent earth bear, Yi Chenfeng turned into a streak of sword shadow and landed at the bottom of the valley. He continued to attack the severely injured Tian Chongshu. Damn it! Who the hell are you? Aren't you afraid of the revenge of the Green Sky Tribe? Tian Chongshu, who was covered in blood, roared at Yi Chenfeng furiously. He used the name of the Green Sky Tribe to pressure Yi Chenfeng. The people I am killing are from the Green Sky Tribe. Yi Chenfeng ignored him. He raised his Tao intent to the extreme and continued to attack Tian Chongshu with terrifying killer moves. He was suppressing Tian Chongshu in all aspects. Brat, just wait for the revenge of the Green Sky Tribe. Tian Chongshu, who was severely injured, wanted to use his trump card to escape. There won't be such a day. With that, Yi Chenfeng suddenly sped up the flow of time by 4 times and blocked in front of Tian Chongshu. Then, Yi Chenfeng waved his arm gently and isolated the space, greatly limiting Tian Chongshu's escape route. Misty, ancient extreme sword. When Tian Chongshu burned his qi and blood to forcefully pass through the isolated space, Yi Chenfeng executed his strongest move. He slashed out an ancient extreme sword that seemed to have come from the ancient times. It slashed towards Tian Chongshu. As the sword slashed out, the heaven and earth shook violently. A shallow crack appeared in the chaotic space, leaking out boundless Tao intent as it ruthlessly slashed at Tian Chongshu's body. Although Tian Chongshu tried his best to dodge, his left shoulder was still struck by the sword. It was chopped off, and a large amount of blood spurted out. Giant Spirit. After severely injuring Tian Chongshu with a single slash, Yi Chenfeng summoned the Giant Spirit Sword, which was a supreme-grade true Spirit Saint artifact and weighed hundreds of millions of pounds. He waved this huge true Spirit Saint sword and slashed at Tian Chongshu, whose expression changed drastically. Star Moon Pearl defend. Facing the attack of the Giant Spirit Sword, Tian Chongshu, who had lost his left arm, could only summon the Star Moon Pearl to defend. However, under the attack of Yi Chenfeng's 7.5 billion pounds of strength and the dancing Giant Spirit Sword, the star-like Star Moon Pearl couldn't withstand it all. It was sent flying by Yi Chenfeng's slash and smashed into Tian Chongshu's body. He was smashed into the valley, creating a huge pit and causing the surrounding few miles to tremble violently. Roar! 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 When Yi Chunfeng was attacking Tian Chongshu with all his strength, the violent earth bear rushed over again. It let out an earth-shattering roar and launched a ferocious attack at Yi Chunfeng, who was the biggest threat to it. At this moment, a graceful figure blocked in front of the violent earth bear. Streaks of sharp sword images interweaved and attacked the violent earth bear's eyes, distracting it so that it could not attack Yi Chunfeng with its full strength. Go to hell. Taking advantage of the time when Shui Yishuan was defending against the violent earth bear, Yi Chunfeng threw out the 10-feet-long giant spirit sword with all his strength. With an unstoppable attack power, the sword landed on the heavily injured and powerless Tian Chongshu, directly turning him into minced meat. He died on the spot, and a bottomless chasm was left in the trembling valley. Chapter 1609. Ancestor, we have taken revenge for you. The moment she witnessed Tian Chongshu's death, Xiao Wendy felt an inexplicable sense of relief. The hatred hidden in the depths of her heart also vanished at this moment. 8. 1 High School. 1. X8 X1. ZX1. XC. OM. At this moment, she looked at Yi Chunfeng with eyes filled with gratitude. She was grateful to Yi Chunfeng for everything he had done for her. Retrieve. After killing Tian Chongshu in a domineering manner, Yi Chunfeng immediately collected his belongings. Ayo! At this moment, the violent earth bear roared furiously. It slapped its terrifying bare paws, bringing along a terrifying force of heaven and earth. It shattered Shui Yishuan's continuous attacks and ruthlessly smashed towards her. Pooh! Although Shui Yishuan used a mysterious movement technique to dodge the violent earth bear's furious attack, she was still struck by the terrifying force of heaven and earth. She fell from the sky. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng flew out from the deep valley that was filled with cracks. He hugged Shui Yishuan's soft body tightly and hugged her tightly in his arms. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng exploded with a shocking force. Like a meteor, he ruthlessly slammed into the violent earth bear's body. More than 7.5 billion gene of power instantly exploded into the body of the violent earth bear, breaking several of its sternum and forcing its huge body to retreat step by step. Matsi, take good care of senior sister Shui. After forcefully pushing back the violent earth bear, Yi Chunfeng immediately threw Shui Yishuan to Xiao Wendy. He slashed at the violent earth bear with his 3-feet-long giant spiritual sword. Boom, boom, boom. Under the strongest attack of Yi Chen's wind burst, the violent earth bear was forced to retreat little by little. Its mountain-like body was continuously split open by the giant spiritual sword. A large amount of blood spurted out and gathered into a stream of blood in the valley that was filled with cracks. The violent earth bear was infuriated by the continuous injuries it suffered. It roared furiously and attacked Yi Chunfeng like a madman, wanting to tear him apart. However, Yi Chunfeng's strength was simply too shocking. Coupled with the fact that the giant spiritual sword had reached the level of a top-grade true spirit artifact, its terrifying attack power was constantly tearing apart the violent earth bear's attacks. Roar! As the violent earth bear howled in pain, Yi Chunfeng slashed off one of the violent earth bear's arms with the giant spirit sword, severely injuring its body. After its arm was cut off by Yi Chunfeng, the violent earth bear was terrified. It decisively gave up on killing Yi Chunfeng and shrunk its body in an attempt to escape. But the moment it tried to escape, Yi Chunfeng seized the opportunity to attack. His entire body fused together with the giant spirit sword, fusing with the golden sword soul, raising his attack power to the limit. His sword slashed at the violent earth bear's neck, piercing through it. Die! Yi Chunfeng suddenly threw out a punch. He gathered 7.5 billion gene of strength in his right fist and punched the violent earth bear's head that was dyed red with blood. He forcefully smashed the violent earth bear's head off, killing it on the spot. Return. After killing the violent earth bear, Yi Chunfeng immediately put its body into the universe mirror and gave it to the Chaos Divine Beast and Golden Clear Dragon Bloodline, so that they could devour the violent earth bear's flesh and monster core to further increase their strength. Senior Sister Shui. Are you all right? Yi Feng came to Shui Xuan, who was covered in blood and trying her best to heal herself, and asked with concern. I'm fine. Shui Xuan spat out a mouthful of turbid qi. Senior Sister Shui, give me your hand, Yi Feng said in a low voice. Shui Xuan was stunned. She looked at Yi Feng and saw that his eyes were clear. She handed her right hand over to him. Gently holding Shui Xuan's soft hand, Yi Feng immediately controlled the spiritual pearl of life to release a powerful life force. It went through her palm and into her body, healing her injuries. What a powerful life force! Shui Xuan was shocked. She could not help but look at Yi Feng. She felt that he was like a cloud of mist that attracted her. However, when she saw Xiaowen die from the corner of her eyes, she sighed inwardly and sealed her heart. Under the nourishment of the spiritual pearl of life, Shui Xuan's injuries were quickly healed. In less than 4 hours, she was as good as new. Matsi, this star moon pearl belongs to your ancestor. I'll give it to you. Although Yi Feng knew that the Star Moon Pearl was a middle-grade, true spirit sacred artifact that could increase one's physical body and strength, he did not keep it for himself and gave it to Xiao Wendy. Thank you. Xiao Wendy looked at Yi Feng affectionately and accepted the Star Moon Pearl. After dripping her blood on it, she refined it into her body. Great! Yi Feng took out Tian Chongshu's 2 precious yin and yang rings. He broke the seals on the rings one by one and divided Tian Chongshu's belongings with Shui Xuan and Xiao Wendy. Tian Chongshu was a guardian of the blue sky race, and he had a lot of wealth on him. When they were dividing up his belongings, Yi Feng and the other 2 each got a precious upper-grade True Spirit Saint pellet, a couple of middle-grade True Spirit Saint pellets, a couple of Saint treasures, and a lot of middle-grade and upper-grade heaven crystals. Let's go down and see what kind of sacred artifact this violent earth bear is guarding. After dividing up the items left behind by Tian Chongshu, Yi Feng and the others immediately flew to the heavily damaged valley. At the end of the valley, they saw a strange flower that was more than half a meter tall. It was emitting a cold air like a flying ice swan. Ice swan sacred flower. It's actually the ice swan sacred flower. Looking at this strange flower, Shui Xian immediately recognized it. It was a strange flower that could only be seen in ancient books, the holy ice phoenix flower. Shui Xuan's body was cold, and the ice luan sacred flower was extremely useful to her. With this ice luan sacred flower, she could easily break through to the 5-star Dao Emperor realm. Chengfeng, Wendy, can you give this ice luan sacred flower to me? Shui Xuan bit her lips and said, with this ice luan sacred flower, I can give up the other opportunities inside. Senior sister, you are too polite. This ice luan sacred flower is useless to us. Senior sister, please take it. Yi Feng smiled and said generously, thank you. Shui Xuan said gratefully and flew to the side of the ice luan sacred flower. She deduced her Dao intent to the extreme and forcefully suppressed the ice luan sacred flower. Screech, screech, screech. When the ice luan sacred flower was suppressed by Shui Xuan, a deafening bird cry immediately sounded from the flower. A lifelike ice luan phantom emerged and tried to tear apart Shui Xuan's suppression. 5 elements heaven grade Dao diagram. Heavenly Dao diagram. Suppress. Seeing that Shui Xuan's Dao intent was being torn apart by the ice luan phantom, Yi Feng immediately condensed 2 Dao diagrams and suppressed the ice luan sacred flower. Collect. Shui Xuan summoned several sharp extreme-grade holy swords and cut open the fertile soil around the ice luan sacred flower. Then, she collected it into her yin-yang ring. Let's go and continue to look for other opportunities. Although Yi Feng had continuously plucked sacred items that were over 1 million or even 10 million years old, he knew that these were just the most ordinary opportunities in the mystic realm. What he wanted was an unprecedented opportunity, including the general outline of the Sword Dao. Chapter 16:10. Time flew by. 8th. Chinese Network? Fierce battles were taking place in every corner of the ethereal secret realm. One after another, the rare heaven and earth spirit treasures that were millions or even tens of millions of years old in the heaven realm were taken away by the experts of the major forces. After 10 days, they were getting closer to the center of the ethereal secret realm. The dangers they encountered were getting greater. Among them, many forces had accidentally triggered the terrifying restrictions in the secret realm and were attacked by the terrifying restriction power, dying tragically in the silent forest. There's sounds of fighting ahead. Let's go and take a look. Yi Qinfeng's powerful soul power sensed the fierce fighting ahead. He immediately concealed his aura and slowly approached with Xiao Wendy and Shui Xuan. He saw 4 powerful beings with extraordinary strength controlling their respective treasures and fighting fiercely with a demonic leopard with 3 leopard heads and a pair of black wings. It was a rank one holy beast. They seemed to be from the Eternal Heaven Palace and the Green Sky Clan. Shui Yixian, who was hiding in the crown of an ancient tree in the distance, recognized the 4 people's identities when she saw their clothes. Eternal Heaven Palace and the Green Sky Clan. Yi Qinfeng's lips curled up slightly as he thought of a plan to mess up the situation. Wait for me here. Don't move, and don't let them find you. Yi Qinfeng instructed. He concealed his aura completely with the help of the E-Blood and quietly approached the valley where the fierce fighting was taking place. As he approached the valley, he took out the heavenly ruler projection that he had obtained from Heavenly Lord Emperor Destroyer and crushed it. In the next moment, a man in a dark golden robe appeared in front of Yi Qinfeng. He was emitting dense heavenly power. Use this exploding stone to attack the 2 experts from the Eternal Heaven Palace. Yi Qinfeng gave the powerful exploding stone that he had obtained from killing Tian Chongshu to the heavenly ruler projection and ordered him to attack the 2 experts from the Eternal Heaven Palace and frame the Green Sky Clan. The heavenly ruler projection. Who summoned such a low-level projection? The Sky Emperor projection was definitely an invincible weapon in the soul-fighting continent, but it was very ordinary in the heaven domain. Seeing the 1-star Sky Emperor projection approaching, the 2 6-star Sky Emperors of the Green Sky Clan were puzzled. Die, you bastard from the Eternal Celestial Palace. The Heaven Emperor's projection approached the 2 mighty figures of the Eternal Celestial Palace. Suddenly, he let out a roar and crushed the explosive stone in his hand. A powerful explosive force instantly spread out and bombarded the 2 mighty figures of the Eternal Celestial Palace. At the critical moment, the 2 mighty figures of the Eternal Celestial Palace summoned their powerful defensive trump cards to defend against the explosion of the exploding stones. However, the moment they tried to defend themselves, 3 demon leopards suddenly closed in on them. They opened their bloody mouths and bit down on one of the Eternal Celestial Palace's experts who had lost control of his body. The demon leopards bit down on his head and shoulders, killing him on the spot. Green Sky Clan, you are so despicable. Eternal Heaven Palace will remember this. The remaining expert from the Eternal Celestial Palace glanced at his dead comrade and used Blood Escape to escape from the valley without hesitation. Damn it, which bastard summoned the Heaven Emperor's projection just now? The ethereal secret land was too dangerous. In order to get the rare opportunities in the secret land, the Green Sky Clan and the Eternal Celestial Palace had secretly formed an alliance and were ready to devour the opportunities in the secret land. However, the scene that had just happened had caused a crack in the alliance between the 2 forces. Thinking of the consequences of the alliance's failure, the 2 mighty figures of the Green Sky Clan flew into a rage and roared loudly. It's me. Yi Qinfeng controlled the illusory Xian-level Dao diagram and transformed into the appearance of Tian Chongshu. Then he walked over slowly. Tian Chongshu, didn't you receive the secret message from the Palace Master? Do you know the consequences of ruining the Palace Master's plan? The 2 mighty figures of the Green Sky Clan roared angrily. What secret message? I didn't receive it. Yi Qinfeng pretended to be puzzled and said, You, one of the mighty figures of the Green Sky Clan, said angrily, Forget it. Let's kill the 3-headed demonic leopard first and dig out the golden blood ancient wood inside. Then, you can explain to the Palace Master. Then, the two mighty figures of the Green Sky clan controlled their treasures and attacked the three-headed demonic leopard. They fought fiercely with it in the valley. Tian Chongshu, what are you waiting for? Come and help us. The strength of the three-headed demonic leopard was horrible. In addition, the demonic leopard was known for its speed. Under its unpredictable attacks, the two mighty figures of the Green Sky clan were seriously injured. In desperation, they could only ask Yi Chunfeng for help. Okay, I'll help you. Then, Yi Chunfeng attacked the three-headed demonic leopard fiercely. How? Yi Chunfeng attacked. The three-headed demonic leopard roared angrily. A ferocious leopard head spurted out billowing demonic strength and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Boom! Being attacked by the demonic strength, Yi Chunfeng suddenly lost control of his body and smashed into a mighty figure of the Green Sky clan behind him. What a loser! Seeing that Yi Chunfeng was injured by the three-headed demonic leopard in an instant, the two mighty figures of the Green Sky clan cursed in their hearts. When a mighty figure of the Green Sky clan moved to avoid Yi Chunfeng, a strong killing intent suddenly appeared in Yi Chunfeng's eyes. Under the control of his mind, the golden sword soul pierced the back of the mighty figure of the Green Sky clan, who was completely focused on the three-headed demonic leopard. Puff! The body of the mighty figure of the Green Sky clan was easily pierced through by the golden sword soul. A large amount of blood flowed out of the bloody hole. Tian Chongshu, how dare you betray the Green Sky clan? The mighty figure of the Green Sky clan opened his eyes wide. He couldn't believe that Yi Chunfeng would sneak attack him. Just as his body was heavily injured and his strength was greatly reduced, the ferocious three-headed Black Panther opened its bloody mouth and bit down on his body. With a sudden burst of strength, it directly tore his body that was spurting blood into pieces. Tian Chongshu, wait and see. The Palace Master will never let you go. Although the remaining mighty figure of the Green Sky clan couldn't figure out why Tian Chongshu betrayed the Green Sky clan, the current situation was unfavorable to him. He had to give up the golden blood ancient wood and run out of the valley. Do you think you can escape? Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword wings. With a violent flash, the sword wings rolled up a hurricane and stopped the mighty figure of the Green Sky clan. You're not Tian Chongshu. Seeing the sword wings summoned by Yi Chunfeng and sensing that the aura of Yi Chunfeng was different from that of Tian Chongshu, the mighty figure of the Green Sky clan guessed the truth. It's too late for you to know. With that, Yi Chunfeng burned his primordial bloodline and raised his strength to the limit. Then he attacked the mighty figure of the Green Sky clan fiercely. He was already seriously injured in the fierce battle with the three-headed demonic leopard. Now he was attacked by Yi Chunfeng like a tidal wave. His attack was instantly suppressed, and his injuries kept worsening. Boundless Great Way. At the critical moment, the mighty figure of the Green Sky clan operated the firmament's secret art to the limit and performed his strongest move. He transformed into the Boundless Great Way and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Spiritual Dragon Fighting Fist. Yi Chunfeng roared. Like an invincible god of war, he stood in the air and unleashed a series of dragon-stripping fists that shook the heavens and the earth. They blasted into the great path, shattering it. When Yi Chunfeng performed the rules of time and blasted out 10 punches in an instant, he shattered the Boundless Great Way in the most aggressive way. However, the body of the mighty figure of the Green Sky clan was also shattered at any time. He turned into a cloud of blood mist in the air and died on the spot. After killing the two mighty figures, Yi Chunfeng attacked the three-headed demonic leopard with shocking strength. The three-headed demonic leopard was able to fight against 4 mighty figures because of its unpredictable speed. However, Yi Chunfeng had the sword wings, mastered the quadruple time flow, and the amplitude of the primordial blood. In terms of speed, he completely suppressed the three-headed demonic leopard and blasted it away again and again. Chaotic Divine Wood. When the three-headed demonic leopard was covered in blood and burned its powerful demonic power to deliver a fatal blow to Yi Chunfeng, Yi Chunfeng summoned his natal treasure, the Chaotic Divine Wood, and controlled it to meet the attack. Boom! Under the attack of the Chaotic Divine Wood, the three-headed demonic leopard's fatal blow was shattered instantly. Its huge body trembled, and it was sent flying thousands of meters away by the chaotic divine wood. It crashed into the cliff in the distance and turned into a pile of rotten flesh. Its soul died on the spot. Chapter 16:11. Collect. With a single thought, Yi Chuanfeng collected the corpses of the three demonic leopards and the remains of the three great sovereigns. He spat out the burning sky, sacred flame, and burned their bodies. He called the two girls who were hiding in the canopy over. When they arrived at the end of the valley, they saw an ancient tree that was emitting golden light and seemed to have blood flowing through its trunk. 8th high school? When first high school? This golden blood ancient tree is useful to me, so I'll take it. As the chaos divine would continue to transform, its power became more and more terrifying. If it continued to grow, its power would surpass a Saint Treasure and be on par with a transcendent Saint Treasure. All right, the two girls nodded. They did not covet this invaluable golden blood ancient tree and gave it to Yi Chuanfeng. Chaos divine would devour. Yi Chuanfeng controlled the chaos divine would to fly towards the golden blood ancient tree and let it devour it directly. Sensing the threat of the chaos divine wood, the extremely intelligent golden blood ancient tree shot out a terrifying blood-red light, transforming into various attack forms and fiercely attacking the chaos divine wood. The golden blood ancient tree had lived for close to 10 million years, and the spirituality it contained was extremely terrifying. Under its ferocious attacks, the chaos divine wood's attacks were constantly countered, and the five-colored roots that extended were forcibly shattered by the swaying canopy of the golden blood ancient tree, unable to penetrate the ancient tree at all. 4 great Tao diagrams suppress. Sensing that the chaos divine wood was having a hard time restraining the golden blood ancient wood, Yi Chuanfeng formed the 4 Tao diagrams with a thought. He controlled the 4 diagrams and merged them together, forming a huge millstone of Tao will. It ground the space and formed a terrifying suppressive force, forcefully weakening the power of the golden blood ancient wood. Well, too, Shui Xuan and Xiao Wendy also acted at this time, releasing powerful Tao intent to suppress the golden blood ancient tree. However, the golden blood ancient tree was terrifying beyond Yi Chuanfeng's imagination. The 3 of them worked together to suppress it, but they still could not make the chaos divine would restrain the golden blood ancient tree and devour its spirituality. Mo Ba, come out. In desperation, Yi Chuanfeng summoned Mo Ba, who had unsealed all of its seals and reached 1-star Demon Master realm, to help. What a terrifying devil chi. He actually still has such a trump card. Shui Xuan's heart inexplicably trembled when she felt the devil chi. She had a feeling that this devil Ba's strength was above Yu Xian's. He had most likely reached the 1-star Devil Lord realm. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Mo Ba roared into the sky, releasing billowing demonic energy. Like a surging tide, it engulfed the golden blood ancient wood, completely suppressing it. With Mo Ba's help, the golden blood ancient wood was instantly suppressed. At this time, the chaos divine would once again extended its 5-colored roots and successfully took root in the golden blood ancient wood, madly devouring the spiritual energy contained in the ancient wood. About 3 days later, the golden blood ancient wood's spiritual energy was completely devoured by the chaos divine wood, turning it into a lifeless, dead tree. The chaos divine wood, on the other hand, had swallowed the golden blood ancient wood that was nearly 10 million years old. Its power had increased several-fold, and it was about to reach the limit of another metamorphosis. Come on, let's continue forward. Yi Chuanfeng took out the spoils from killing the enemies and divided them between the 2 ladies. After that, they continued to fly into the depths of the mystery land. After flying for an unknown period of time, suddenly, a terrifying roar came from the depths of the mystery land. This roar was so strong that it shocked the surroundings, causing the entire mystery land to tremble. Then, a humongous dragon turtle as big as a hill appeared in the distance. It opened its bloody mouth and instantly swallowed several experts from the Green Sky Clan and Eternal Heaven Palace, shocking everyone. Evil beast, you are courting death. Just as the furious dragon turtle was crazily killing the experts from the two forces, an angry roar came from the horizon. Heavenly Tao, who was wearing a blue robe, seemed to have merged with the space. His every move could trigger the momentum of heaven and earth. He was controlling the Heavenly Saint weapon, the Green Sky Wheel, to attack the humongous dragon turtle. Boom! When the Green Sky Wheel, which had terrifying Tao will, hit the extremely hard shell of the dragon turtle, it immediately exploded with shocking power. It shook the humongous body of the dragon turtle and saved several experts from the Green Sky Clan and Eternal Heaven Palace. Patriarch, we found an ancient palace under the lake. It seems that there's a great opportunity hidden in it. The expert from the Green Sky Clan, who had escaped the disaster, reported. An ancient palace. Heavenly Tao's eyes lit up. He said loudly, "All of you step back. Leave this mid-level dragon turtle to me." As he spoke, Heavenly Tao deduced Tao will to the extreme. He controlled the Green Sky Wheel, which was powerful enough to destroy the lower plane, and fiercely attacked the dragon turtle. Although the dragon turtle, which was comparable to a 6-star Tao master, was not as strong as a 1-star Tao god, the dragon turtle's shell was too hard. Heavenly Tao controlled the Green Sky Wheel to attack fiercely for 30 minutes, but he was unable to break the defense of the turtle's shell. Roar, despicable alien race. I'm going to swallow all of you. The dragon turtle roared furiously. It suddenly turned its huge body and attacked Heavenly Tao and the others like a spinning top. It wanted to smash them to death. Patriarch Green Sky, let me help you. When Heavenly Tao held the Green Sky Wheel in his hand and faced the dragon turtle's fierce attack head-on, a thunderous voice exploded in the void. The palace master of the Eternal Celestial Palace, Song Meng, a 6-star Tao master, slashed at the dragon turtle with the treasure of the Eternal Celestial Palace, the semi-divine saint artifact, Vast Expanse Saber. As the saber slashed, a deep saber mark appeared in the chaotic space. The terrifying Vast Expanse Saber was like the Milky Way flowing backward. It fiercely slashed at the hard turtle's shell, shattering its demonic energy and slowing down its attack. Subsequently, the azure sky wheel descended from the sky while emanating a terrifying energy of Tao insight. It blasted onto the dragon tortoise's shell and forcefully smashed it down from midair into the deep lake that roiled violently, causing a large amount of water to splash up. I seal. The moment the dragon turtle fell into the deep lake, Vast Expanse unleashed a heaven-grade Tao diagram of ice. It blasted into the deep lake, instantly sealing the lake and freezing the dragon turtle's huge body. Green Sky Wheel, destroy it. Heavenly Tao seized this opportunity. He ignored the exhaustion of his body and controlled the Green Sky Wheel to attack fiercely. Under the continuous attacks of Heavenly Tao and Vast Expanse, cracks appeared on the dragon turtle's incomparably hard shell. A large amount of blood seeped through the cracks and dyed a large amount of ice red. Attack together and kill the dragon turtle. After successfully injuring the dragon turtle, Heavenly Tao and Vast Expanse immediately ordered the experts of the two great powers to use all of their ferocious attacks to penetrate the cracked turtle shell and injure the dragon turtle's body. As time passed, many experts of the various great powers who had been teleported to various places in the mystic realm heard the intense sounds of battle and rushed over. Even Yi Chenfeng and the others followed the dragon turtle's painful roars and rushed over to the blood-stained lake. An ancestral beast. This is an ancestral beast. Seeing the dragon turtle being bombarded by Heavenly Tao and Vast Expanse, the God-Eater brain immediately sensed that this dragon turtle was an extremely terrifying ancestral beast. It was extremely rare in the heaven domain. Roar! All of you die with me. Seeing that the heavily injured dragon turtle was about to die, the dragon turtle suddenly roared and detonated its incomparably precious ancestral beast monster core. Not good. Retreat. Sensing the danger, Heavenly Tao and Vast Expanse immediately led the experts of the two great powers to retreat. However, the dragon turtle had detonated the demonic core so quickly that it exploded with heaven-destroying, earth-extinguishing power. In the blink of an eye, nearly 10 experts from the two organizations were killed, and the two invincible entities from the Vast Expanse were seriously injured. Their blood dyed the sky red. Chapter 16:12. He's injured. Yi Chenfeng rejoiced inwardly when he saw Tianji Dao and Song Meng staining the sky with blood. By Chinese network, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to 8 almost equals 1 greater than or equal to Z is almost equal to, is not equal to. Greater than or equal to C greater than or equal to O is not equal to M is not equal to the existence of heavenly peak. Dao posed a great threat to Yi Chenfeng. If Yi Chenfeng wanted to obtain the unparalleled opportunity in the ethereal secret territory, he would have to deal with heavenly peak Dao first. Otherwise, not only would his efforts be in vain, he might even lose his life here. Break it. Tianji Dao swallowed a true spirit saint pill to stabilize his injuries. Then he unleashed a palm strike at the lake sealed by the ice heavenly Tao diagram. Instantly, the entire lake collapsed, revealing an ancient palace hidden at the bottom of the lake that exuded a sense of vicissitudes of time. This ancient palace belongs to the Green Sky clan and the Eternal Heaven Palace. Anyone who dares to touch it will be killed. Although Tianji Dao and Vast Expanse knew about the conflict between the two forces, they chose to cooperate in the face of great benefits. They were ready to swallow all the opportunities in the ethereal mystery land. Sigh. Although the opportunities in the ancient palace belonged to the ethereal mystery land, Yuxian did not dare to say anything in front of the Green Sky clan and the Eternal Heaven Palace. He could only grit his teeth and watch the great opportunities being taken away by the two forces. Not only did the ethereal mystery land not dare to touch the ancient palace, but the master of the 9 clearances mountain, Tianqing, also did not dare to raise any objections. He could only leave with the disciples of the 9 clearances mountain to look for other opportunities. Green Sky Wheel break the seal. After shocking the experts of the various major powers, Tianji Dao controlled the Clear Sky Wheel to attack the ancient palace. He wanted to rely on absolute strength to forcefully break through the restrictions and enter. However, the seal in the ethereal mystery land was very powerful. After so many years, it still showed no signs of weakening. Tianji Dao and Vast Expanse attacked the seal with their 2 treasures for more than an hour, but there was no sign of breaking the seal. This made them frown. Can we break the seal with brute force? Several thoughts flashed through Tianji Dao's mind. He could not help but look at the master of the ethereal mystery land. Yuexian, come over here, Tianji Dao commanded. Clan leader Qing Tian, what can I do for you? Yuxian lowered his posture and asked politely. Lend me a drop of your blood. Tianji said, yes. Yuxian didn't dare to disobey Yuxian's order. He gently bit his finger and forced out a drop of blood. Go! With a thought, Tianji Dao controlled Yuexian's blood to fly toward the restriction of the ancient palace. Buzz, buzz, buzz. After fusing with Yuxian's essence blood, the ancient palace's restriction suddenly trembled. A large amount of restriction light illuminated the heaven and earth, so dazzling that people couldn't open their eyes. Just as I thought, the blood of a direct descendant of the Misty Heavens sect can open the ancient palace's seal. Sensing that the ancient palace's restrictions were getting weaker and weaker, Tianji Dao smiled faintly. He looked at Yuxian and said, Sect leader Yu, this secret territory is filled with dangers. Why don't you follow me? That way, I can protect you when we encounter danger. Yuxian hesitated. Sect leader Yu, your Misty Heaven sect is too weak. You won't be able to obtain any great fortuitous encounters in this secret territory. How about this? If sect leader Yu is willing to follow me, I can share some of the fortuitous encounters with you. Tianji Dao said generously because Yu Xian had important uses for him. All right, many thanks to clan leader Qing Tian. Yu Xian knew that he had no other choice. He sighed helplessly in his heart and had no choice but to compromise. Let's go. Let's enter the ancient palace and see what's inside. After saying that, Tianji Dao, Song Meng, Yu Xian, and the others flew into the ancient palace. Before Yu Xian entered the ancient palace, Yi Chenfeng had left a strand of his soul on him in advance. He wanted to use him to spy on the fortuitous encounters in the ancient palace. And 3 balls of light. After entering the ancient palace, Tianji Dao and the others saw 3 balls of light floating in the middle of the ancient palace. 3 supreme treasures were sealed in the balls of light. Sect Leader Yu, let me borrow your essence blood again. Tianji Dao's eyes shone brightly. Okay, Yu Xian nodded. He bit his finger and forced out a drop of essence blood. Then he flicked it toward the first ball of light. After fusing with Yu Xian's essence blood, the ball of light rippled like flowing water. Then it slowly disappeared, revealing a long spear that was 9 feet 9 inches long. It was dark blue in color, and the patterns on the handle were like flowing water. The tip of the spear was inlaid with a mysterious crystal. Half-transcendent saint weapon. Tianji Dao and Song Meng's eyes lit up when they felt the aura of the long spear. Although the Qing Tian clan was an overlord force in the Immortal region and a branch of the Sky clan in the Void God world, the Qing Tian clan did not have many half-transcendent saint weapons. There were only 5 of them. The number 1 force in the Nihility region, the Eternal Heaven Palace, only had 2 half-transcendent saint weapons. It showed how rare and precious such treasures were in the Immortal region. Sect Leader Yu, please open the second ball of restriction. Tianji Dao and Song Meng did not ask for the blue long spear. Instead, they looked at the second ball of restriction. Okay, Yu Xian sighed helplessly. He did not want to move his eyes away from the half-transcendent saint weapon. He forced a drop of essence blood to fuse with the second ball of restriction. After fusing with Yu Xian's blood essence, the power of the restriction light ball continued to decrease until it finally disappeared, revealing a simple and unadorned 3-legged cauldron with a toad inlaid on the lid of the cauldron. Although this 3-legged furnace looked ordinary, it was a heavenly treasure. When Yu Xian saw this 3-legged furnace, he couldn't take his eyes off it. With their shrewd eyes, they were sure that the 3-legged stove was more precious than the blue long spear. They suspected that it was a half-transcendent saint treasure. The misty secret area deserves its reputation. This trip is worth it. A faint smile appeared on Tianji Dao's face as he cast his gaze towards the last ball of light. He wanted to know what kind of treasure was sealed within it. Break! Yu Xian suppressed the sadness in his heart and forced the 3rd drop of essence blood to fuse with the 3rd ball of restriction. This is a pill. The ball of restriction disappeared. Tianji Dao and the others saw 3 pills the size of a longan. They were fiery red and had half a pill pattern on them. They were emitting a strong medicinal fragrance and were floating in the air. Just by smelling the medicinal fragrance of the 3 fiery red pills, Tianji Dao and the other 2 felt as if they were floating in the air. This made them certain that these 3 pills should be 3 immeasurably valuable half-transcendent holy pills. Clan leader Qing Tian, Palace Master Song, I've opened the 3 balls of restriction for you. Can you give me a half-transcendent saint pill? The value of a half-Skirich divine pill was too high. If Yu Xian was able to obtain one, then he would definitely be able to step foot into the Downlord realm by relying on its vast medicinal strength. Moreover, he would even be able to establish an extremely solid foundation for his cultivation. How about this, Sect Master Yu? I have 3 supreme, true spirit saint pills. I'll give them to you. Tianji Dao took out a porcelain bottle from his universe ring and threw it to Yu Xian. Song Meng also took out 3 supreme, true spirit saint pills and gave them to Yu Xian. Although the supreme, true spirit saint technique was extremely precious, its value is far inferior to a half-transcendent saint pill. A half-transcendent saint pill could be exchanged for at least 10 supreme, true spirit saint pills. Moreover, no one in the entire heaven region was willing to do such a business. Sigh. Yuxian knew that he was not fated to get a half-transcendent saint pill when he saw their attitude. He sighed softly and put away the 6 supreme, true spirit saint pills. Clan leader Qing Tian, I'll take this 3-legged cauldron. You can have a rest. The 3-legged cauldron was the most valuable of the 3 treasures, so Tsang Mang asked first. Sure. Tianji Dao had just broken through to the 1-star Dao God realm and needed a half-transcendent saint pill to consolidate his cultivation. He pondered for a moment and finally agreed. P.S. Yi Chunfeng's picture. If you want to see it, please add the WeChat account, Y1TY83. You can see it if you click on 8 Desolates. Chapter 16:13. These 3 treasures, I want them. Just as Tianji Dao and Tsang Mang were dividing up the 3 priceless treasures, a deep, ancient voice suddenly rang out outside the ancient palace, entering their ears. August 1st Chinese Network? 1. Following the source of the voice, they saw an unimaginably strong man walking over with heavy steps. With every step he took, the entire ancient palace trembled. It was as if it wasn't a person walking, but a divine mountain. Who are you? Looking at this man who had suddenly appeared and whose body was pulsing with divine light, the 1-star celestial god Tianji Dao's expression changed slightly, revealing a trace of graveness. Who I am is not important. What's important is that if you don't want to die, get the hell away from me. Otherwise, I will destroy you. The burly man exuded a domineering aura as he threatened coldly. What arrogance! This god wants to see how you can destroy me. Tianji Dao sent a message to Tsang Mang, telling him to keep the 3 treasures while he stopped this burly man who seemed to be as strong as him. Green Sky Wheel destroy. Tianji Dao roared, and the low-grade transcendent saint artifact, the Green Sky Wheel, appeared on his body. The sun and moon sank in the wheel, and the stars multiplied. The terrifying power of the wheel shook the 9 heavens, scaring Yuxian into retreating quickly to avoid being swept by this terrifying power and suffering an unexpected calamity. Transcendent Saint Artifact, I didn't expect you to have such a good thing. The burly man's eyes shot out tens of thousands of rays of starlight, and his burly body continued to grow. A power that could crush mountains filled his muscles, increasing his strength to the limit. Celestial Demon, you are a celestial demon. Feeling the burly man's physical strength instantly surpass 50 billion, Tianji Dao's expression changed greatly, and he guessed the burly man's identity. Although it was rare to see a celestial demon in the entire celestial realm, the name of a celestial demon was still resounding. Celestial demons had the strongest physical body in the universe and were almost invincible in the same realm. Even if Tianji Dao had a transcendent saint artifact, he still felt a trace of pressure when facing a celestial demon. That's right. He summoned the giant spirit sword that he had obtained from Yi Chunfeng. With a burst of strength of over 50 billion jin, he swung the giant spirit sword at Tianji Dao. The god-fiend torch dragon slashed out with his sword, causing the entire space to tremble violently. The terrifying sword light seemed to split the space apart, causing a terrifying crack to appear. Feeling the power of the god-fiend candle dragon's sword, Tianji Dao's expression changed slightly. He immediately controlled the Green Sky Wheel to block, using the Transcendent Saint artifact to block the giant spiritual sword attack. Boom! When the 2 supreme treasures collided, a destructive force burst out, causing the space in the ancient palace to crack. The coiling dragon pillars shattered one after another. Ayo, ayo, ayo. As the 2 terrifying forces clashed, the god-devil torch dragon let out a long, thunderous roar. His voice was like a tidal wave, crashing into the vast expanse, whose face fell as he tried to take away the 3 precious treasures. Even though Tsang Mang was a peak 6-star Dao Lord, the difference in strength between a Dao Lord and a Dao God was too great. A Tao god had condensed a sacred spirit that was even more powerful than a Daolord's, and his Tao energy had been transformed into sacred energy. It wasn't something a Daolord could compare to. Wong, under the attack of the god-devil torch dragon's roar, vast expanse's soul was shaken, and his reaction slowed down a little. In the next moment, the god-devil torch dragon ignored his injuries and burst out with a shocking force. He tore through the layers of destructive force and appeared in front of vast expanse. He stretched out his millstone-like hand and grabbed vast expanse's head, restraining him. If you don't want to die, give me the 3 supreme treasures that you just took away. Otherwise, I'll crush your head. The god-devil torch dragon ordered domineeringly. All right, I'll give it to you. Vast Expanse knew how terrifying the torch dragon was. He could not go against the torch dragon's orders. He quickly took out a yin-yang ring and handed it to the torch dragon. Vast Expanse, you can't give the 3 treasures to him. If you give them to him, you'll still die. Tian Jidao's expression changed slightly as he shouted at Vast Expanse. Crack! As soon as Tian Jidao finished speaking, the god-devil torch dragon's 5 fingers exerted force, and the terrifying force crushed Vast Expanse's skull. A large amount of blood flowed out, dyeing Vast Expanse's face red. No, don't kill me. I'll give it to you. Vast Expanse was the palace master of the eternal celestial palace. He had a lot of time to waste and did not want to die. He quickly handed the yin-yang ring in his hand to the god-devil torch dragon. After receiving the yin-yang ring, the god-devil torch dragon immediately released a powerful soul force into the yin-yang ring. Suddenly, a cold light shot out from Vast Expanse's eyes. He suddenly detonated a powerful soul force that was hidden in the yin-yang ring and attacked the god-devil torch dragon's soul at close range. Although the god-devil torch dragon's strength was terrifying, the sudden attack of the yin-yang ring's mysterious power still delayed his reaction. Seizing the opportunity, Vast Expanse's Tao core exploded with a shocking amount of Tao power. He forcefully pushed the god-devil torch dragon away and flew toward Tian Jidao at an extremely fast speed. Die! The god-devil torch dragon came to his senses and pressed down on Vast Expanse with his huge hand. The space around him collapsed and pressed down on Vast Expanse. Clan leader Qing Tian, save me. Vast Expanse panicked when he saw the god-devil torch dragon's huge hand crushing Vast Expanse into minced meat. He immediately asked Tian Jidao for help. Green Sky Wheel, break for me. Tian Jidao deduced his Tao to the extreme and controlled the Green Sky Wheel to slash at the god-devil torch dragon's huge hand. He forcefully tore it apart and saved Vast Expanse. However, before Vast Expanse had a chance to catch his breath, he suddenly felt a terrifying physical pressure appear beside him. He was so frightened that 2 of his 3 souls left his body. He didn't care about the consequences and used Blood Escape to escape. Rip! The moment Vast Expanse dodged, the god-devil torch dragon grabbed Vast Expanse's right hand before Tian Jidao could attack. He released a shocking amount of energy and tore Vast Expanse's right hand off, obtaining the yin-yang ring hidden in his right arm. Clan leader Qing Tian, the 3 treasures have been taken by him. Kill him. Vast Expanse howled in pain as his right arm was torn apart by the god-devil torch dragon. However, the god-devil torch dragon was too terrifying. He didn't dare to stay for long. He left behind those words and fled the ancient palace in a sorry state. Supreme Emperor Heavenly Tao, destroy him. Tian Jidao didn't expect that he would fall short of success at the very last moment, and his 3 treasures would be snatched away by the god-fiend torch dragon. He was so angry that his face turned ashen. He controlled the clear sky wheel to attack ferociously, and at the same time, he activated the supreme divine ability of the Heavenly Emperor clan, transforming it into numerous Heavenly Emperor seals that attacked the god-fiend torch dragon. You think you can stop me when you've just broken through to the Heavenly God realm? The god-devil torch dragon snorted coldly as he unleashed his strongest strength. He waved the giant spiritual sword continuously, shattering Tian Jidao's attacks as he tried to break out of the ancient palace. Palace Master, what happened to you? Hearing the huge commotion from the ancient palace, the spectators outside the ancient palace were shocked. They were surprised that there was still a mysterious expert here. When the experts of the Eternal Heaven Palace saw Vast Expanse, who had lost an arm, escaping in a sorry state, they immediately surrounded him and asked with concern, "Let's go. Let's leave this place first." The God Devil Torch Dragon's strength was too terrifying. Vast Expanse was afraid that Tian Jidao wouldn't be able to defeat the God Devil Torch Dragon. If that happened, the consequences would be dire. He immediately left with the experts of the Eternal Heaven Palace. Just as the people of the Eternal Heaven Palace left, the ancient palace trembled violently and collapsed. The God Devil Torch Dragon didn't care about his injuries as he used the God Devil clan's ancient divine ability to destroy the heavens and earth. He attacked Tianji Dao, who was controlling the green sky wheel with all his might. Boom! When the two powerful attacks collided, the space within a radius of a few miles collapsed. Countless spatial cracks spread out in the shattered space. It was a terrifying scene, as though the end of the world had arrived. The God Devil Torch Dragon had yet to recover from his injuries. Coupled with the terrifying might of the God Devil Torch Dragon's ancient divine artifact, he was still injured and spat out a mouthful of blood. However, he had successfully broken out of the encirclement and didn't continue fighting. Instead, he flew towards the forest in the distance. When Tianji Dao, who was covered in blood and in a sorry state, chased after him, the God Devil Torch Dragon had already disappeared. Chapter 16:14. Members of the Azure Sky Clan, listen up. Search for that fiend god. I'll reward anyone who can find him. Tianji Dao was furious. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that the three supreme treasures of the ancient palace would be snatched away right under his nose. Now that the fiend god Torch Dragon was injured, it was the best time to kill him. Tianji Dao wanted to personally cut off Torch Dragon's head to vent his anger. 8th High School. What? While the members of the Azure Sky Clan were searching for the fiend god, Yu Xian was the last to fly out of the collapsed ancient palace. Sect Leader, what exactly happened? What treasures are there in the ancient palace? The members of the Ethereal Heaven sect quickly surrounded Yu Xian. They wanted to know what had happened. There are 3 treasures in the ancient palace. They are a half-transcendent saint artifact, a half-transcendent saint treasure, and 3.5 transcendent saint pills. These 3 treasures should have belonged to the Azure Sky Clan leader and Palace Mastered Song. But a fiend god suddenly appeared, severely injured Palace Mastered Song, and took away the 3 treasures. Yu Xian told them what had happened in the ancient palace. Fiend god? How could there be a fiend god in the ethereal secret realm? Everyone gasped. I don't know either. Yu Xian sighed softly. He felt that the situation had become more complicated. He couldn't imagine how Yi Chunfeng would obtain a great opportunity for the Ethereal Heaven sect. Sect Master, this secret realm is too dangerous. Should we continue? Hua Xing said solemnly. The overall strength of the Ethereal Heaven sect was not strong. If they ventured deeper and encountered more terrifying saint beasts, it was very likely that they would be wiped out. This made many people want to retreat. Where's Chunfeng? Let's wait for him. Yu Xian looked around and didn't see Yi Chunfeng. He pondered for a moment and said, "All right." Thinking of Yi Chunfeng's mysterious background, they waited patiently outside the heavily damaged lake. After about an hour, Yi Chunfeng, who had mysteriously disappeared, returned. Chunfeng, the current situation in the misty secret realm is too complicated. Even the Palace Master of Eternal Celestial Palace, a peak 6-star Dao Lord, Vast Expanse, has lost an arm. I think we should give up on this fortuitous encounter and leave this place. Yu Xian sighed helplessly. As the God-Fiend Torch Dragon was too powerful and God-Fiends were very rare, Yu Xian and company didn't think that the God-Fiend Torch Dragon was related to Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment before saying, "How about this, Sect Master? You all leave the misty mystic realm, and I'll go alone to fight for an opportunity for you all. Chengfeng, this is too dangerous. There are two Dao gods in this secret realm. No matter how talented you are not a match for them. Shui Piaomiao said worriedly. Don't worry, Palace Master Shui. I only have means to protect myself. Yi Chenfeng smiled confidently. Chenfeng, I want to follow you. Shui Xian looked deeply at Yi Chenfeng, who she couldn't see through, and said softly, All right, then let's go deeper. After saying that, Yi Chenfeng bid farewell to Yu Xian, Shui Piaomiao, and the others, and flew deeper into the secret realm with Xiao Wendai and Shui Xian. Sectmaster, do you think he will succeed? Shui Shu Jun murmured as she looked at Yi Chenfeng's departing figure. I don't know. Let's go out and wait. Hopefully, he will be able to fight for an opportunity for our misty mystic realm and help us rise again. Yu Xian's heart burned with passion as he thought about the three great opportunities in the ancient palace. Chengfeng, that god fiend just now was related to you, right? One day later, Yi Chenfeng and company appeared in a secluded valley. Looking at Yi Chenfeng's chiseled face, Shui Xian bit her lips and said, Senior Sister Shui, why do you suspect me? Yi Chenfeng smiled as he looked at Shui Xian's cold face. It's a woman's sixth sense. Shui Xian said softly as she met Yi Chenfeng's gaze. Senior Sister Shui, you just need to remember that I have no ill intentions towards the misty mystic realm. Furthermore, I will fulfill my promise. Yi Chenfeng smiled and changed the topic. All right, Senior Sister Shui, you and Motzi can rest here. I'm going out for a while. Before I return, don't leave this place. Yi Chenfeng exhorted before leaving the valley. With a thought, he returned to the universe realm and found the god fiend Torch Dragon. Senior, thank you for your help. Yi Chenfeng said gratefully as he looked at the god fiend Torch Dragon who had consumed 1.5 sky-piercing sage pill. Junior, the celestial god that you asked me to deal with is not to be underestimated. Furthermore, he possesses a sky-piercing sage artifact. He is a great threat to me. Zhulang exhaled a mouthful of turbid air as he woke up from his recovery. Although we have encountered great challenges, the opportunities here are equally amazing. Perhaps there is an ancestral medicine that can heal Senior's injuries. Yi Chenfeng said with a smile. All right, stop encouraging me. Since I have agreed to help you, I will naturally help you to the end. The god fiend Torch Dragon seemed to have seen through Yi Chenfeng's thoughts and said in a deep voice, Senior, how much of your injuries can you recover after consuming 1.5 sky-piercing sage pill? Yi Chenfeng asked. The half-sky-piercing sage pill may be precious to you, but it is of limited use to me. The half-sky-piercing sage pill can only suppress my injuries and prevent them from worsening. It cannot heal my injuries. The god fiend Torch Dragon said. However, this spear and this cauldron are not bad. With them, I will have a chance to severely injure that celestial god from the Azure Sky race the next time I face him. Here, take these 2.5 sky-piercing sage pills. With that, the god fiend Torch Dragon gave the 2.5 sky-piercing sage pills to Yi Chenfeng. Thank you, Senior. Yi Chenfeng put away the 2.5 sky-piercing sage pills and said, Senior, take care of yourself. I will not disturb you. With that, Yi Chenfeng left the Qianquan realm and returned to the valley. After resting for a night, he continued to search for the ancient palace in the Mystery Land. While Yi Chenfeng was searching for the ancient palace in the Mystery Land, the three sacred beasts who had refined the demonic core and blood essence of the sacred beasts all broke through to the king's sacred beasts. This greatly increased the power that Yi Chenfeng could control. What a terrifying restriction formation. On the 20th day of Yi Chenfeng's search in the Mystery Land with the two girls, the god-eating brain tool, which was extremely deductive, felt a looming restriction formation between the mountains in front of them. When he approached it, he found that this restriction formation was very terrifying. Space Devourer, come out. Yi Chenfeng didn't break through the restriction formation by force. He summoned the Space Devourer that had evolved into a king's sacred beast and ordered it to devour the restriction formation. After evolving, the space devourer's ability to devour space had become even stronger. In less than 2 hours, the space devourer had devoured a large hole in the terrifying spatial restriction formation, allowing Yi Chunfeng's group of 3 to enter with ease. An ancient palace. There really is an ancient palace hidden here. After entering the restriction formation, Yi Chunfeng noticed that a magnificent ancient palace had appeared beneath his feet. Moreover, an enormous lion that was over 100 meters long and it was like a mountain was sleeping outside the ancient palace. Its entire body was fiery red, and it was covered in flames. An ancestral beast. This lion is an ancestral beast. As he gazed at the fiery red lion before him, Yi Chunfeng was immediately sure that this lion was just like the dragon turtle from before. They were both mid-rank ancestral beasts that were rarely seen in the heaven region, and they were comparable to peak 6-star Dowlords. Both of you hide well. Leave this ancestral beast to me. Yi Chunfeng instructed before his figure flashed towards the ancient palace, and he woke up this mid-rank ancestral beast that had guarded the ancient palace for countless years. Chapter 16:15. Roar. Human, this is not a place where you should be. Either you scram now or die. The red lion opened its eyes, which were bigger than millstones. It looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was like an ant in its eyes, and said ferociously, I want to enter this ancient palace. If you move aside, I can spare your life. Although the red lion in front of him was emitting a terrifying aura that made Yi Chunfeng feel suffocated and breathless, he did not show any signs of weakness and replied domineeringly, Despicable human, you are courting death. The red lion was completely enraged by Yi Chunfeng's words. It opened its mouth and spat out waves of demonic qi towards Yi Chunfeng, wanting to destroy him. Wendy, will Chunfeng be all right? Shui Xuan, who was hiding in the dark, saw Yi Chunfeng in danger and asked nervously, Don't worry, senior sister Shui. Chunfeng is not a reckless person. If he dares to face the red lion alone, he will definitely win. Seeing the concern on Shui Xuan's face, Xiao Wendy sighed softly in her heart and became more determined. Just as the red lion's demonic qi was about to hit Yi Chunfeng suddenly disappeared. In the next moment, Torch Dragon, who was tall and burly like a majestic divine mountain, appeared in the void. With his indestructible body, he dispersed the demonic qi spewed out by the red lion. God Demon, this God Demon is really related to Yi Chunfeng. Shui Xuan's eyes widened in disbelief when she saw the strange appearance of the demon god. Wendy, who is Chunfeng? Why is he protected by such a terrifying god demon? It was rare to see a god demon in the entire heaven realm, let alone one that had reached the Dao god realm. This made Shui Xuan very curious about Yi Chunfeng's identity. Senior sister Shui, I don't know Chunfeng's true identity, but there is one thing I can be sure of. Chunfeng has no ill intentions towards the Misty Heaven sect. Xiao Dai said faintly. As he spoke, the god fiend Torch Dragon held the giant spirit sword in his hand. The sword tore through the void and slashed at the red lion. The terrifying sword forced the red lion to dodge to the side. Boom! The moment the red lion dodged, a bottomless chasm appeared where it was just a moment ago. The terrifying sword might filled the void, making people feel fearful. Oh, God Fiend, how did you get in here? The red lion felt a strong sense of danger from the God Fiend Torch Dragon. It opened its bloody mouth and questioned loudly. Die! The Torch Dragon god Jin Ben didn't reply to the red lion. He instantly raised his physical strength to 50 billion Jin and attacked the red lion with terrifying physical strength, wanting to quickly kill it. The god fiend Torch Dragon attacked with astounding strength. The red lion, who couldn't dodge, immediately waved its sharp lion claws to meet the attack. Boom, boom, boom. A series of thunder-like explosions resounded in the air. The god fiend Torch Dragon and the red lion didn't show any signs of weakness and began to fight fiercely. Although the red lion's attack power was above the dragon turtle, its defense was far inferior. On the other hand, the god fiend Torch Dragon's attack was almost invincible. Very quickly, The Red Lion's attack was suppressed by the God-Fiend Torch Dragon. The giant spirit sword continued to slash at the Red Lion's huge body, leaving behind a series of ghastly sword wounds. Large amounts of blood splattered everywhere. Oh! The Red Lion's injuries continued to worsen, completely enraging it. It roared furiously and stimulated the power of its demonic core. Its attack power and speed were raised to the limit as it fought the God-Fiend Torch Dragon in close combat. However, the God-Fiend Torch Dragon's physical body was too strong. The Red Lion's sharp lion claws couldn't break through his defense at all. What's that sound? When the God-Fiend Torch Dragon and the Red Lion fought fiercely, the loud noises caused alarmed many experts scattered nearby. They all came closer to check what was going on. When they got close to the trembling restriction and felt the whole space trembling, they were so frightened that they didn't dare to get close. They all used their own means to pass the news to the top experts of their respective forces. Soon, the experts of the Green Sky clan, led by Tianji Dao, rushed to the second ancient palace at an extremely fast speed. Little Lion, I'd like to see how many strikes you can take from me. The God-Fiend Torch Dragon looked at the scarred Red Lion and continued to unleash shocking power to suppress it and worsen its injuries. Demonic core burn. Unable to withstand the fierce attacks of the God-Fiend Torch Dragon, the Red Lion, covered in bloody wounds, burned its demonic core at all costs. With the help of the powerful ancestral demon power, it suppressed its injuries and continued to fight fiercely with the God-Fiend Torch Dragon in the void. Senior, we can't delay any longer. I'm afraid that if we delay any longer, the people of the Green Sky clan will come. Then we'll be in trouble. Yi Chen-Feng, who was hiding in the universe mirror, found that the God-Fiend Torch Dragon couldn't kill the Red Lion, so he couldn't help but urge him. Well, then I'll try my best to kill it. The God-Fiend Torch Dragon took a deep breath and further increased his strength regardless of his injuries. Die! As his strength increased rapidly, the God-Fiend Torch Dragon used the quasi-heavenly saint weapon, the Tripod Cauldron. He controlled the Tripod Cauldron to increase its size and suppress the scarred Red Lion. Boom! Attacked by the Tripod Cauldron, the Red Lion's huge body trembled and was knocked down to the ground by the Tripod Cauldron, which was as heavy as a mountain. The ground collapsed for several miles. The next moment, the quasi-heavenly saint weapon Blue Long Spear appeared in the God-Fiend Torch Dragon's hand. He suddenly threw the long spear, which tore the void and pierced toward the Red Lion's neck like a crack in space. The Red Lion's defense was easily penetrated by the Blue Long Spear. The terrifying spear penetrated the Red Lion's huge body, constantly shattering its vitality. God-Fiend, die with me. With its vitality shattered by the Blue Long Spear, the Red Lion let out a roar of despair and was about to detonate its monster core to deal a fatal blow to the God-Fiend Torch Dragon. You want to self-destruct? Not so easy. The God-Fiend Torch Dragon held the giant spiritual sword tightly with both hands and slashed down with a heaven-splitting momentum. The sword slashed at the Red Lion's neck that had been penetrated by the Blue Long Spear, forcibly chopping off the Red Lion's huge head and killing it on the spot. Universe Mirror Store. The moment the God-Fiend Torch Dragon killed the Red Lion, Yi Chen-Feng left the Universe Mirror and controlled it to store the Red Lion's precious corpse. Senior, thank you. Leave the rest to me. You can go back to the Universe Mirror to heal your injuries. Although the Red Lion was killed, the God-Fiend Torch Dragon's injuries had worsened. Yi Chen-Feng immediately let him return to the Universe Mirror to heal and suppress his injuries. Let's go. Let's enter the ancient palace. Yi Chen-Feng called the two girls who were hiding in the dark. Using Shui Yishuan's blood, he opened a restriction that enveloped the ancient palace and entered the second ancient palace. Chapter 16:16. 3 Restriction Light Balls. When Yi Chen-Feng entered the second ancient palace hall, he saw that this ancient palace hall was the same as the first one, with 3 clumps of light floating above it. 8th High School. 1. Senior sister, I'll have to trouble you. The reason why Yi Chen-Feng brought Shui Yishuan with him was because he needed her blood to break the restrictions in the ancient palace. All right. Shui Xuan nodded and bit her finger. She squeezed out a drop of blood essence and fused it with the first restriction light ball. It was only half a meter tall and had ancient runes engraved on it. This is the Origin Dao Tablet. Yi Chunfeng controlled the God-Eater brain and released a powerful soul force into the Dao Tablet. He immediately felt that this Dao Tablet was very mysterious and contained endless Dao intent. It was a higher-grade Origin Dao Tablet, and its value was immeasurable. Shui Xuan squeezed out a second drop of blood and opened the second restriction light ball. A half-transcendent saint treasure appeared. Boom! Just as Shui Xuan was about to open the third restriction light ball, the restrictions outside the valley were broken by Tianjizhao Dao with the clear sky wheel. The experts rushed in at an extremely fast speed. Senior sister, quickly! Yi Chunfeng's face changed slightly as he urged her. All right. Shui Xuan nodded and squeezed out a third drop of blood essence. Then, she unlocked the third restriction light orb and obtained 4 milky white ascension saint pills. They exuded a faint cold aura and had half elixir veins on them. Senior sister Shui, don't resist. I'll take you to a place to hide. Yi Chunfeng quickly took the 3 treasures in the ancient palace and sent Shui Xuan and Xia Wendy into the universe mirror. Yi Chunfeng then summoned the sword puppet and fused more than 1,000 high-grade heaven crystals into it. He had it take the universe mirror and break out of the ancient palace. Where do you think you're going? Tianjizhao Dao roared when he saw the sword puppet flying out of the ancient palace. He controlled the clear sky wheel to smash the sword puppet. Crack! The indestructible sword puppet was struck by the azure sky wheel, and its sturdy body immediately cracked. Like a broken kite, it fell from the sky. When the sword spirit puppet landed heavily on the ground, he sent the universe mirror hidden in his palm into the ground, which was covered in cracks, and hid it well. Seal the ancient palace. Today I must kill that fiend god. Tianjidao commanded loudly as he controlled the azure sky wheel to attack a second time, shattering the sword puppet's hard body. When the ancient temple was surrounded, Tianji Dao and Vast Expanse, who had recovered his right arm, rushed into the temple, only to find it empty. Not only was there no sign of the god-fiend Torch Dragon, but there were also no treasures. Where is he? How could he have disappeared? Tianji Dao released his powerful soul power and covered the entire ancient palace, searching every corner. However, he didn't find any clues even after searching the entire ancient palace. This made him roar in anger. Search! They must be hiding in some corner. We must find them. Tianji Dao and Vast Expanse were furious when they thought about how the treasures in the second ancient palace had been taken away by someone else. The two of them originally wanted to join hands and take all the treasures in the Misty Secret Realm. However, they didn't expect that it would become a wishful thinking. If they couldn't take back the treasures in the ancient palace, they would become the laughingstock of the Heaven Domain. Chunfeng, what is this place? Shui Xuan's eyes widened as she looked at the picturesque environment of the universe mirror and the tenfold flow of time. This is my treasure space. Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, We are very safe here. Black Rock Emperor. Why is the Black Rock Emperor here? Shui Xian looked around the beautiful universe mirror and found the Black Rock Emperor. She was shocked and said, Did you order the Black Rock Emperor to take Shui Ming Xian away? That's right. Shui Ming Xian has evil intentions. If he becomes the palace master of the Snow Palace, it won't be a good thing for the Misty Heaven sect. Yi Chunfeng nodded and admitted. Senior Sister Shui, this half of the sky-piercing saint pill is for you. When you break through to the 6th level Dao Emperor realm, you should be able to break through to the 1-star Dao Lord realm with this half of the sky-piercing saint pill. Yi Chunfeng summoned the 3 treasures he had just obtained and gave the half of the sky-piercing saint pill to Shui Yixian. Thank you. Shui Yixian looked deeply at Yi Chunfeng and took out a white jade box. She sealed the half of the sky-piercing saint pill in the box and put it into her universe ring. Matzi, this half of the sky-piercing saint pill is for you. Yi Chunfeng then gave the second half of the sky-piercing saint pill to Xiao Wendy. After losing the treasures of the ancient palace, I believe that the major powers will definitely not give up and will definitely guard this place to the death. Let's use this time to cultivate properly and comprehend this Origin Dao tablet. Yi Chenfeng moved the half-meter-tall Origin Dao tablet in front of him and suggested, "All right." The two women nodded and sat around the Origin Dao tablet. They released powerful soul energy and penetrated the Origin Dao tablet to comprehend the Dao intent it contained. Pooh! Just after comprehending for a while, Shui Yixian's soul suddenly trembled and a mouthful of blood sprayed out from her red little mouth. "Senior sister, are you all right?" Yi Chenfeng looked at the pale and lovely Shui Yixian and asked with concern. "I'm fine." Shui Yixian gently wiped the blood from the corner of her mouth and said sadly, "This Origin Dao tablet contains Heaven Dao intent, and my Mystic Dao intent is limited. I'm afraid I won't be able to comprehend this Origin Dao tablet." I was too careless. As he spoke, Yi Chenfeng summoned another Origin Source Dao Steel and said, "Senior sister, I obtained this Origin Source Dao Steel by chance. It contains a profound level Dao insight. Try to comprehend this profound level Dao Steel first. When you've completely comprehended it, you can comprehend the heaven level Dao Steel." "Thank you." Shui Xian knew how precious the Origin Dao tablet was. She looked at Yi Chenfeng affectionately and closed her eyes and began to comprehend the mystic Dao tablet. Time passed day by day. Yi Chenfeng and the other two hid in the universe realm and patiently comprehended the profound Dao intent contained in the Origin Dao tablet. 111. On the fifth day of Xia Wendy's comprehension of the Heaven Dao tablet, the Dao intent in her body rose to the limit and broke through the bottleneck of her cultivation realm and broke through to the two-star Dao Emperor realm. After breaking through, Xia Wendy consumed a mid-grade true spirit pill that she obtained from killing Tian Chongshu and forcefully refined it to increase her strength. Soon a month passed. Yi Chenfeng had comprehended the heaven-level origin source Dao Steel, and his understanding and control of Dao insights had deepened. As for Xia Wendy and Shui Yixian, they had different levels of gains from comprehending the Origin Dao tablet. Shui Yixian even showed signs of condensing a mystic Dao diagram. "It's time to leave this place." Yi Chenfeng sensed that there were only a few people left in the valley through the universe realm. He didn't stay any longer and summoned Mo Ba out of the universe realm to break out of the encirclement. "Ba, why is there a Ba here?" Seeing Demon Ba's sudden appearance, the expert from the various major powers guarding the valley revealed shocked expressions. They wanted to spread the news as soon as possible. However, Mo Ba had unlocked all the seals and reached the one-star Demon Lord realm. His strength was extremely terrifying. Under Mo Ba's ferocious attacks, the experts guarding the valley were easily killed. Mo Ba captured a green sky race almighty and disappeared from the valley where the second ancient palace was at. Chapter 16-17. What? A demonic Ba appeared in the mountain valley and killed all the experts left behind by the various great powers. Only you managed to escape. Tian Jidao, who was searching for other opportunities in the ethereal mystery land, got the news from his subordinates. His face darkened instantly, and he became angry out of shame. By Chinese Network Z. Z. 8. 1. Z. ZC. O. M. Yes, Patriarch. Now the demonic Ba has been chasing me. Patriarch, where are you? The powerful figure of the Green Sky clan said in fear. Trash. Tian Jidao scolded him, but he still told him his location. Tian Jidao had brought 23 powerful figures to the ethereal mystery land, but now there were only 11 people left, including the clansmen who had been healing in his cave residence. This made Tian Jidao very angry. If he couldn't take the great opportunity from the Mystery Land and return to the Green Sky Clan, his position in the Green Sky Clan would be shaken. Go find Tian Jidao, Yi Chenfeng ordered. He controlled the powerful figure of the Green Sky Clan, who was controlled by him with the illusion will of Tao, and flew to the place where Tian Jidao was. At this time, After more than a month of searching, Tianji Dao found a terrible restriction in the Mystery Land. He controlled the green sky wheel to attack fiercely for several days, but he couldn't break the restriction. Tianji Dao thought of all kinds of methods, including the essence blood he asked for from Yue Xian, but he couldn't break the restriction. In desperation, he could only contact the vast expanse, Tianqing Shangren, and the others to gather their strength to break the restriction together. After more than 10 days of continuous attacks, cracks finally appeared on this heaven-like restriction. In the end, it was forcefully broken by Tianji Dao with the help of the clear sky wheel. Huff, huff, we finally broke the restriction. Although they had forcefully broken through the restrictions, Tianji Dao and the others had also exhausted a lot of energy. However, they didn't recover. They passed through the broken restrictions together and flew into a quiet mountain valley. There, they saw an ancient palace that had existed for countless years. On the right side of the ancient palace, there was an unimaginably large spider web. A spider that was half a kilometer long and covered in spikes was sleeping on the spider web. It was dark purple in color and had a human face. Ancestor beast, human face spider. Looking at the human face spider before him, Tianji Dao revealed a grave expression. Although the defensive power of the human face spider was far inferior to that of the dragon turtle, the human face spider contained a deadly poison. If the poison it spat out invaded one's body and was not expelled in time, even a Dao god could die. Palace Master Tsang, esteemed Master Tianqing, Saint Master Jin, this human face spider is extremely terrifying. We have to work together to suppress it. Only then will we have a chance to kill it. Tianji Dao didn't dare to get close to the human face spider. He called the 3 strongest sect masters over and said, I wonder if the 3 of you have a powerful array diagram that can restrain this human face spider for a short period of time. Yes. Vast expanse, and the other 2 nodded in unison. Okay, then we will use the array to restrain this human-faced ghost spider. We will try to kill it as soon as possible and enter the ancient palace to seize the treasure. Tianji Dao nodded. Sect Master Qing Tian, I am more interested in this human-faced spider. If we work together to kill it, the corpse and demonic core of the human-faced ghost spider will belong to I. Esteemed Master Tianqing said, as long as you agree, 9 Clearances Mountain will give up the treasure in the ancient palace. All right, I promise you. Tianji Dao nodded. Although the corpse of a human-faced spider was incomparably precious and was even more precious than a supreme-grade true spirit saint artifact, Vast Expanse and Heavenly Path Holy Land Saint Master Jin had no objections and agreed to esteemed Master Tianqing's proposal. Let's get ready to attack. As he spoke, Tianji Dao summoned an extremely powerful ancient array diagram. It flowed with array patterns as if it was nurturing a part of the world and attacked the human-faced spider. When Tianji Dao attacked, Vast Expanse and the other 2 also summoned their own ancient array diagrams. They sealed the space and forcibly imprisoned the human-faced spider, trapping it within the 4 ancient array diagrams. Hiss! After being attacked by the 4 ancient diagrams, the human-faced spider immediately woke up from its slumber. It roared furiously at the 4 ancient diagrams that were imprisoning it. Strands of highly toxic spider silk shot out of its mouth and attacked the overlapping ancient diagrams. Clear Sky Wheel Attack. While the 4 ancient array diagrams were being attacked by the human-faced spider, Tianji Dao and the other 3 entered the ancient array diagrams. They controlled their respective inherited treasures and fiercely attacked the human-faced spider, severely injuring its body. Attacked by the Clear Sky Wheel, Vast Expanse Blade, and the other 3 supreme treasures, the human-faced ghost spider immediately condensed a large amount of spider webs to defend itself. At the same time, it controlled the poisonous stingers in its body to attack the 4 ancient array diagrams. Under the ferocious attacks of the human-faced spider, the 4 ancient array diagrams' defenses were constantly pierced through. However, the moment the 4 ancient array diagrams blocked the attacks, Tianji Dao and the other three easily dodged the attacks and attacked the human-faced ghost spider with all their strength. Tianji Dao, what a good plan. You want to use the ancient array diagrams to trap the human-faced spider and kill it together. Yi Chenfeng, who had transformed into a powerful figure of the Green Sky clan and blended into the crowd, showed a cold smile. He quietly retreated to a corner where there was no one. He crushed the Demon Emperor projection and summoned the one-star Demon Emperor. Then, Yi Chenfeng gave him several powerful explosive stones that he had obtained from killing the powerful figure of the Green Sky clan. He ordered him to approach the four ancient array diagrams and use the explosive stones to attack them. Stop, who are you? Approach the clan elders without permission, and you will be killed without mercy. The Demon Emperor projection held several explosive stones and approached the four ancient array diagrams at an extremely fast speed. He was immediately stopped by the experts of the Green Sky clan. However, at this time, a ferocious roar came from the entrance of the valley. And Mo Qing, who was surrounded by Demon Qi, held the Green Phoenix sacred bow and shot at the experts of the Green Sky clan. Being attacked by the Cyan Phoenix holy arrow, the warriors of the Green Sky clan changed their expressions slightly and dodged to the side instinctively. Seizing this fleeting opportunity, the projection of the Demon Emperor approached the four people of Tianji Dao and detonated several powerful self-exploding stones in his hand to attack the four ancient formations. Boom, boom, boom. The power of the explosion of several explosive stones overlapped and formed a terrible power. It collapsed the space and tore the four ancient array diagrams apart. Oh no! Tianji Dao's expression changed slightly. He had not expected such a change to occur at this critical moment. If the four ancient array diagrams were broken, they would be in a dangerous situation. Even if they finally defeated the human-faced spider, it would be a Pyrrhic victory. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Seizing the opportunity when the four ancient diagrams were heavily damaged and covered with cracks, the human-faced spider launched a ferocious attack. Its huge body slammed into the four ancient diagrams again and again, forcibly shattering two of them, threatening Tianji Dao and the other three. Supreme Emperor Heaven Path. Seeing the ferocious human-faced spider break the four ancient array diagrams, Tianji Dao burned his powerful bloodline power and performed the top supreme inheritance of the Green Sky clan. He condensed many royal heaven seals that were as heavy as mountains and bombarded the human-faced spider. Under the control of Tianji Dao, the azure sky wheel turned into a blue sky, releasing a terrifying suppression that suppressed the body of the human-faced spider. Attack with all your strength and injure it as much as possible. Otherwise, it will be troublesome when it escapes. Sensing that the third ancient array diagram was about to be broken by the angry human-faced spider, Tianji Dao shouted at the three people of the vast expanse. In desperation, the three people of the vast expanse burned their powerful bloodline power and qi in blood to stimulate the power of the 3.5 transcendent saint weapons. They attacked the human-faced spider with all their strength and aggravated its injuries. Although the human-faced spider was terrifying, its defensive power was not strong. Under the attacks of the Supreme Inheritance and the Green Sky Wheel and other supreme treasures, its injuries continued to worsen. Its huge body was covered with wounds, and a large amount of dark green venom and blood flowed out. As its injuries worsened, the attacks of the human-faced spider became more ferocious. Soon, it tore the third ancient array diagram and threatened Tianji Dao and the others. Chapter 16:18. When the four masters of Tianji Dao attacked the spider with all their might, chaos broke out outside the valley. 8:1. Middle? When Wang less than or equal to is almost equal to equals. Greater than or equal to 8 is equal to 1 is almost equal to z, less than or equal to is almost equal to. Equals COMMO Ba killed a master of the Green Sky race with the Green Phoenix sacred bow and was chased out of the valley by three masters of the Green Sky race. When the three masters of the Green Sky race were about to kill Mo Ba, The divine fiend candle dragon suddenly appeared and attacked the three masters of the green sky race with the blue long spear in his hand. Bang! One of the masters of the green sky race couldn't dodge in time and was penetrated by the blue long spear. He turned into a cloud of blood mist and died on the spot. Oh no, we've been tricked. Run. The two masters of the green sky race didn't expect the sudden appearance of the divine fiend candle dragon. They gave up chasing Embark and fled into the valley. Roar, roar. The divine fiend candle dragon let out an earth-shattering roar. The terrifying sound shook the mountains within a few miles and hurt the souls of the two masters, slowing their reactions. The next moment, the divine fiend candle dragon threw out the blue long spear. It was filled with billions of pounds of power and pierced through the body of the second master of the green sky race. What? You want to run away in front of me? The power gap between a Tao god and a Tao master was like heaven and earth. The fiend god candle dragon took a light step forward and crossed thousands of meters in an instant. He intercepted the last heaven master of the green sky clan, who was desperately trying to escape, and exploded his body with a punch, killing him instantly. Let's go into the valley and see if there's a chance. After the divine fiend candle dragon killed the three masters of the green sky race, Yi Chenfeng took away their belongings and the three precious Dao cores. He sent the divine fiend candle dragon and Mo-Ba into the Chinkoan realm. He controlled the illusion diagram to change his appearance and return to the valley again. At this moment, the ferocious human-faced spider had torn apart the last layer of the ancient array diagram and was engaged in an intense battle with Tianji Dao and the other three in the ancient palace. Although the human-faced spider had managed to tear open the formation diagram, it was still severely injured. The boundless saber, the supreme treasure of the eternal celestial palace, was still embedded in the spider's body, unleashing a terrifying amount of power that was constantly destroying its life force. Clear Sky Wheel Destroy. When Master Tianqing and Saint Master Jean controlled their half-transcending saint artifacts to suppress the human-faced spider, Tianji Dao spat out a mouthful of essence blood into the Clear Sky Wheel at all costs. He activated the Clear Sky Wheel's strongest attack and slammed it into the human-faced spider's head. With a series of painful screams, the human-faced spider's head was split open by the Azure Sky Wheel. A large amount of blood and venom splattered out. Kill it while it's down. After severely injuring the human-faced spider's head, Tianji Dao and the others ignored the exhaustion of their bodies and continued to use their most powerful inherited mystiques to attack the human-faced spider. They wanted to kill it in one go. Suddenly, an ear-piercing sound pierced through the air. An unimaginably powerful, giant sword pierced through the air. It was filled with tens of billions of kilograms of power as it pierced towards Tianji Dao, who was the strongest. Not good. Tianji Dao did not expect the fiend god Torch Dragon to appear at this critical moment. He was furious and instinctively dodged to the side. But the moment he dodged, the human-faced spider, whose life was hanging by a thread, spat out a large amount of spider silk and attacked Tianji Dao, greatly limiting his ability to dodge the attack. The fiend god Torch Dragon did not waste this excellent opportunity. He threw out the half-transcending saint artifact blue spear once again and pierced it towards Tianji Dao, whose expression changed slightly. The Clear Sky Wheel was embedded in the human-faced spider's head. Tianji Dao could not retrieve it and could only rely on other treasures to block the attack of the blue spear. Bang! 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 A series of shattering sounds rang out. The blue spear, which was filled with over 50 billion points of power, pierced through one defensive treasure after another and pierced towards Tianji Dao like a hot knife through butter. Seeing that the spear was about to pierce through Tianji Dao's body, he summoned a simple and ordinary-looking metal block in front of him to block the fatal attack of the blue spear. Poof! Although the metal block blocked the blue spear, the 50 billion kilograms of power in the spear created a huge vibration force that transmitted into his arms and body. He was forced to retreat step by step. A stream of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Not good. When Tian Jidao lost control of his body, the human-faced spider spat out a large number of poisonous stingers and attacked his body. In a situation where he lost control of his body, Tian Jidao could not dodge. He could only control the powerful Saint Power and the heaven-level Tao diagram to defend himself. However, the poisonous stingers spat out by the human-faced spider were extremely powerful. After a series of intensive attacks, several poisonous stingers pierced through the defense of the heaven-level Tao diagram and pierced Tian Jidao's right leg. Suddenly, Tian Jidao felt a terrible poison spread in his right leg. He was so frightened that he hurriedly controlled the creatures to suppress it and prevent the poison from spreading. Tian Jidao was injured and poisoned. The fiend god Torch Dragon immediately threw out the half-transcending saint artifact three-legged cauldron to suppress him. Sky escape. Tian Jidao did not expect to fail at the last moment. He was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. However, the current situation was extremely unfavorable to him. He did not dare to stay for long. He took back the blue sky wheel, shook off the three-legged cauldron, and used the inherited escape method of the Green Sky clan to escape out of the valley. Purple lightning destroy it. When Tian Jidao was escaping, the fiend god Torch Dragon took out the lightning-shaped half-transcending saint artifact that Yi Chanfeng had obtained in the second ancient palace and attacked him. Boom! Purple lightning blasted out. A huge lightning appeared in the entire space. The terrible lightning cut through the sky and attacked Tian Jidao at a speed dozens of times faster than light. Shadow of the Heavenly Way. At the critical moment, Tian Jidao transformed into several shadows and fled in different directions to avoid the attack of purple lightning. Rumble. The purple lightning struck one of the afterimages conjured by Tian Jidao. Suddenly, thousands of extremely powerful purple lightning filled the broken void, destroying the entire space, shattering the other afterimages conjured by Tian Jidao, and severely injuring his physical body. As his injuries worsened, Tian Jidao burned his qi and blood at all costs and disappeared into the chaotic valley. As soon as Tian Jidao fled, Vast Mang and the others did not dare to stay any longer. They took back their inherited treasures and fled out of the valley like frightened birds. Soon, there was no one in the entire valley. The experts of the major forces were frightened by the fiend god Torch Dragon, and all fled the valley. Purple lightning destroy it. As Vast Expanse and the others fled, the god fiend Torch Dragon controlled the purple lightning to strike the human-faced spider, whose life force was already at its limit. It was making its final struggle, severely injuring it. Boom, boom, boom. After 3 fierce attacks, the huge body of the human-faced ghost spider was shattered by the purple lightning that tore through the void. It fell heavily into a pool of blood and died. Universe Mirror, collect. When the god fiend Torch Dragon attacked the human-faced spider, Yi Chunfeng appeared and controlled the cosmic mirror to store the human-faced spider's incomparably precious corpse into the cosmic mirror. Junior, this treasure is truly terrifying. Even with this god's strength, I feel exhausted after using it 5 times in a row. If an ordinary person uses this treasure, it is extremely likely that this treasure will instantly drain all of their energy. The god fiend Candle Dragon said solemnly as he returned the violet lightning and the other half transcending heaven saint artifacts to Yi Chunfeng. Don't worry, Senior. I will be careful when using this treasure. Yi Chunfeng stored purple lightning and the other treasures in his body and teleported the fiend god Torch Dragon into the universe mirror. His body flashed and appeared outside the ancient palace shrouded by the seal. Using Shui Yishuan's blood, he broke through the seal and entered the ancient palace. P.S. Yi Chunfeng's picture. If you want to see it, please add us on WeChat, Y1TY83. Chapter 1619. I wonder what kind of treasure is in this ancient palace. Yi Chunfeng pushed open the heavy palace doors and walked in. He saw that there was only a ball of restriction light in the ancient palace. Is this a true transcendent saint artifact sealed in this ball of restriction light? Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. He borrowed another drop of Shui Ishuan's blood and fused it into the ball of restriction light, forcefully breaking open the restriction light. He discovered that what was sealed in the ball of restriction light was not a transcendent saint artifact, but a dark golden lotus flower that emitted a hazy light. The chaotic lotus flower. This is the legendary chaotic lotus flower. Staring at the lotus flower, the God-Eater brain quickly deduced the truth of the lotus flower. The chaotic lotus flower was a top divine item in the world. Legend had it that it was born when the world was created. It contained the power of primordial chaos. Even in the void god world, it was a top divine item. Its value was immeasurable. Collect. Yi Qinfeng's hands quickly twisted. He controlled the 5 elements diagram and condensed a powerful light seal. He wanted to forcefully imprison the chaotic lotus flower. Suddenly, the chaotic lotus flower emitted a hazy light, instantly shattering Yi Qinfeng's light seal. As expected, this chaotic lotus flower isn't that easy to subdue. Yi Qinfeng frowned slightly. He summoned his life treasure, the Chaos Divine Wood, and tried to use it to subdue the Chaos Divine Wood. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Sensing the existence of the chaotic divine wood, the chaotic lotus flower's hazy light became even more intense. It attacked the chaotic divine wood, preventing it from approaching. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. After being attacked by the chaotic lotus flower, the chaotic divine wood immediately shook its treetop and emitted a large amount of 5-colored light. It attacked the chaotic lotus flower and began an intense battle with it. 3-legged cauldron, suppress. In order for the chaotic divine wood to successfully devour the chaotic lotus flower and complete its transformation, Yi Qinfeng burned his primordial blood and summoned the half-transcendent saint artifact, the 3-legged cauldron, to suppress the chaotic lotus flower. Under the suppression of the cauldron, the hazy light released by the chaos lotus flower was gradually suppressed. The Chaos Divine Wood's chaos force attacked the Chaos Lotus Flower again and again, weakening its power. After Yi Qinfeng deduced the Tao will to the extreme and continuously poured golden Tao energy into the 3-legged cauldron to suppress the Chaos Lotus Flower for more than 2 hours, the 5-colored roots of the Chaos Divine Wood successfully took root in the Chaos Lotus Flower and started to devour it. In just half an incense stick's worth of time, the chaotic divine wood had undergone a transformation. Its power had surpassed the limits of a true spirit saint artifact, making it comparable to a true lower transcendent saint artifact. Golden Sword Soul slash. As the chaos divine wood madly devoured the chaos lotus flower and continued to complete its transformation, Yi Qinfeng summoned his golden sword soul and slashed at the chaos lotus flower. He forcefully cut off 6 incomparably precious petals and stored them in the universe mirror. At the same time, Empyrean Zenith, Boundless Expanse, and the others who had fled from the valley were reunited. After consuming several incomparably precious antidotes, Empyrean Zenith forced the poison out of his leg bit by bit. However, the anger in his heart could not be dispelled. As the leader of the Qing Tian clan, he had never suffered such humiliation. He had been robbed of food from the tiger's mouth time and time again. Palace Master Tsang. Esteemed Tian Qing, Saint Master Jin, have you seen that god demon in the Nihility Zone? Empyrean Zenith asked coldly. No, the god demon has not appeared in the Nihility Zone for a long time. Boundless Expanse shook his head. Then where did this god demon come from? Empyrean Zenith asked angrily. I think this god demon should be related to the Misty Heaven sect. Boundless Expanse said after pondering for a moment. The Misty Heaven sect? How could such a weak force have the help of a god demon? Empyrean Zenith said disdainfully. Perhaps this god demon was sealed in this secret realm. When we opened the seal and entered this place, we just happened to help him unseal it. Boundless Expanse analyzed. Yes, I also feel that this god demon has always been in this secret realm. Otherwise, why would he always appear at the crucial moment and steal the treasures that should belong to us? Esteemed Tian Qing nodded and said, Qing Tian clan leader, that god demon's strength is terrifying. Now that he has taken all the opportunities in the 3 ancient palaces, his strength might increase even further. If we want to take back the opportunities from him, it will be as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Boundless Expanse said with a frown, "Don't worry, that god demon will definitely die." Empyrean Zenith said in a low voice, "The old leader of the Qing Tian clan is already on his way back. As long as he arrives, he will definitely be able to kill that god demon and take back the opportunities that should belong to us." Empyrean Zenith said coldly. Time passed day by day. After nearly 10 days of devouring, the Chaos Divine would finally devour the spirituality of the entire Chaos Lotus Flower. Because the Chaos Lotus Flower was born at the beginning of the chaos, the flower contained powerful chaos energy. After the Chaos Divine would devoured it, a slowly beating tree heart appeared in the tree. Tree heart. The Chaos Divine would has formed a tree heart. Although the tree heart formed by the Chaos Divine wood was still very weak, the appearance of the tree heart caused the Chaos Divine wood to undergo a qualitative change. Its power had also reached a level that Yi Chanfeng had never come into contact with before. The rewards from this mystic realm are too great. The Chaos Divine would has formed a tree heart. It shouldn't be too far from reaching the great completion stage. Yi Qinfeng's heart stirred as he kept the Chaos Divine wood back into his body. Buzz, buzz, buzz. When the Chaos Divine wood took root in Yi Qinfeng's heart meridian, it immediately released pure energy into Yi Qinfeng's body, pushing Yi Qinfeng's strength to rise steadily. In less than 5 minutes, Yi Qinfeng reached the limit of a 5-star Tao Emperor. Cracks started to appear on the extremely tough bottleneck. Break, 6-star Tao Emperor. With the help of the pure energy from the Chaos Divine wood, Yi Qinfeng broke through the bottleneck and broke through to the 6-star Tao Emperor realm. I broke through again. Yi Qinfeng didn't expect that he would break through to the 6-star Tao Emperor realm so quickly after breaking through to the 5-star Tao Emperor realm. This was enough to show how precious this Chaos Void Lotus Flower was. After stabilizing his cultivation, Yi Qinfeng silently left the ancient palace. He hid in the mystic realm and returned to the universe realm. "Senior, these 2 petals are for you. They might be useful for your injuries." The Goffin Torch Dragon's injuries were very serious. After fighting continuously, his injuries had worsened. In order to prevent his injuries from worsening, Yi Qinfeng gave him 2 extremely precious Chaos Void Lotus Flower petals. Chaos Void Lotus Flower petals. The Goffin Torch Dragon had lived for tens of millions of years. He immediately recognized the 2 petals. He opened his mouth and swallowed the 2 Chaos Void Lotus Flower petals into his stomach. He refined the 2 petals while he was in a deep sleep to stabilize his injuries. Sensing that the Godfiend Torch Dragon's injuries were slowly stabilizing, Yi Qinfeng was relieved. He left the universe realm and searched for other opportunities in the ethereal mystic realm. However, Yi Qinfeng and the experts from the various factions searched the entire mystic realm. They didn't find the 4th ancient palace. Just as Yi Qinfeng was bitterly searching for the most precious sword principle in the secret realm, someone discovered a sword wall carved with a large number of sword runes in the depths of the secret realm. This attracted the experts of the various major powers to the sword wall. Sword wall, the God-Eater brain, which was rapidly making deductions, caught this information by chance. Yi Qinfeng was overjoyed. He had a feeling that the Sword Tao general outline that he was bitterly searching for might be related to this sword wall. He summoned his sword wings and rushed over with extreme speed.